Shit. I don't know. It says it's
Well, I'm
connected.
live. I'm live right now. What's
Man,
good? What's
I,
good, people?
I don't know if mine okay. It says it is, but I don't know yet. Let me see.
How you not?
It is. We good. Okay.
Oh,
I
so
just
you
had to
live?
check.
You good? All
Yeah,
right.
we good.
Uh, good evening, all heathens. What's good? It's your girl Courtney, and I'm here with my cousin. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Darth Skater 7, and tonight we're doing pop culture and bullshit number 5, and we're gonna be doing the review of episode 1 of Loki on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Now, first off, we supposed to have another player up in this chat, right? But he said Juicy Crab is my brother, so I sent him the link. So whenever he gets ready and all that stuff, he could click it and everything and come on in, come on through. But who is Jay Woods?
Oh yeah,
3659.
let him in. Let him in. That's my homie.
Okay. Ah shit, I clicked the wrong thing.
Oh shit,
Wait a
you
hold up,
clicked
I
the
got
wrong
it.
thing.
I got it. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
What up, man?
You on here talking about Loki, huh?
Yeah, did you watch it? I know you watched it.
Yeah, I seen it. Throughout my whole week dropping on a Wednesday. I had to stop everything in the middle of the day.
Bro, I was on orders in Gulfport, and it was hot as shit over there, humid as fuck. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't have anything to watch it on. So I tried to watch it on Disney Plus, and the whole site was down. So I had to come up with other means to see it. I'm
I
gonna send you a
feel you.
login to the.
Now,
I'm gonna send you some. I'm gonna send you a login to the other means. Hello.
I
Hello.
got you. I got you. So, what y'all think about it overall on a
Uh,
scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10?
Honestly, for me, I would give it a 8.5 or even a 9 because of the potential that it has.
Okay, that's fair. Talking about the Infinity Stones being moot, basically.
we were gonna get to that, but man, yeah, that was crazy. What you think, Courtney?
I give it an 8. I do. I give it an 8. I think with this episode, they needed to do some world building and play catch up, especially with folks who probably didn't, too much watch in game or who was probably out of the loop or whatever. I know I saw some reviews saying that it seemed kind of slow for the first episode. I don't know
Come on,
why.
it's supposed to be
Folks gonna,
slow.
you know, we know that, but folks gonna, some folks gonna bitch about it.
All
But
right.
I loved everything about it. So
So for the people out there who think that episode 1, or basically for any comic book based or whatever type of movie or genre or series, when it's the first time and they're introducing new people, say people who are not comic book buffs, if they have to introduce you to something like that, they have to go slow on the first episode or the first movie or the first 30 minutes or the first hour of it if it's a long movie. Why? Because they have to make you understand what the fuck is going on and dumb it down for you because you weren't smart enough to read goddamn comic book like everybody else. But anyway,
I think overall they did a good job with the pacing, especially if you compare it to um, WandaVision. WandaVision's first episode was a lot slower. This one, I think, half of it was like a bottle episode, but I think
shoot,
the
the
pacing was
entire
pretty good.
like how many seasons is WandaVision like right now? It's like one season, right?
Yeah, it's just the one season.
Like the entire first half was world building and explaining what's going on and what's happening. So honestly, for the pacing for Loki for the first episode, I think that they did a wonderful job at like kind of just showing you what the fuck's going on. And then and most of us already know who Loki is. But anyway, for as far as like world building, they think they did a great job. And as you watch the series or as you watch the episode, you feel everything that Loki feels because up until this point, for everybody who's seen all the movies, we feel like Loki is pretty powerful. You know, he's on par with everybody else. So once he realizes certain things in the show, you think the same thing, and you're like, oh shit. And that feeds back into the Infinity Stones being paperweights, like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me see. So
Did y'all get why they were paperweights? Why
yeah.
they was basically null and void
Well, I mean,
due to they came from another universe,
yeah,
and
it's
then
basically the
yeah,
multiverse.
yeah, basically, with the TVA being in its own little pocket universe, it's outside the realms of the multiverse, and its own is in its own little pocket where time really don't hold no weight to it, whatever.
Yeah,
Pretty
in
much.
my head, I kind of compared it to like what's it called, the mirror dimension, right? Outside the mirror dimension, nothing that you do like affects the actual world. I think
Hmm.
the TVA is something similar to that. So Infinity Stones don't mean anything there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I I mean, I really enjoyed it. As far as like Loki, like up until now, I was thinking like he was one of the coolest characters, one of my favorites as far as the whole series goes with the Avengers. But when he realized that the Infinity Stones were like basically paperweights to them, I think that that was his realization that there was something greater than him, because up until now, he thought he was the shit. This was like a slap in the face, like, yeah, there's more things that exist besides you, and there are more powers outside of your existence that are greater than you. So when he realized that, did you see how like the emotional, I guess, roller coaster he was going through as he was realizing this?
Well, when he saw how his future actions, just basically,
Well, even before that, because once he looked in there, he's like, "Yo, how do you have these?" And he's like, "Yeah, some people use them as paperweights." And then he warped himself back into the room that he was in. He kind of just,
yeah.
yeah, he kind of just kind of went downhill from there. Like, shit, man, I ain't shit. That's basically what happened.
Mm-mm.
I loved it.
I did too. But did you notice his come to Jesus moment, if you will?
The come to Jesus moment. Yeah,
Yeah, basically, especially dealing with his mom.
yeah. Because the guy actually told him, what happened and how it all happens if he had stayed on the timeline that he was supposed to, and he didn't want to believe that. So, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool.
Who is Well, they done left. It was somebody who was on here. I ain't seen him in time.
Oh man, you gotta let him in. So you ain't see
I just
anytime.
noticed he was there. As soon as I was about to click on the name, they left.
If you're watching the podcast right now, if you're on my channel right now, my YouTube channel, I'm gonna put the StreamYard link in the chat if you want to jump in and talk to us about it. For some reason,
Okay.
there we go. Go ahead and go to
Hello.
YouTube here. Did you pull him in?
Yeah.
Who we got coming in with us?
They said Wookie.
Oh, Wookie.
I don't know if his mic
There we
on.
go. No,
There
it
he
is.
is.
I had to set it on my headset.
I know you caught
Okay.
Loki, man. I know you caught it.
No, I watched it. Yeah, no, I like it. I think it's one of the better shows, like on like a Mandalorian level. Like it just came out the gates hitting hard. It wasn't afraid to use references to these big movies. I mean, usually shows can't afford that, and this show, put the Avengers in there. What, like 8 times?
Well, they
So I
got to
mean,
give it. They got to give it some credence and some credibility.
you think about other Marvel shows like the one with Phil Collins in it. Um, and they would reference the Avengers in like major stars, but they would never have it in there. So I think this show's got the budget and like the potential to really, tie in the universes and blow some stuff away. I'm definitely seeing they're probably going to do a Guardians of the Galaxy tie-in at some point.
Oh, you think? Well, yeah, they got to do that. Definitely got to do that. I think that they could probably get away with the Guardians of the Galaxy show as well. Honestly.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think this is like a launching pad for like other shows. Like if Loki does really well, then it lets other shows get their spin-off. Kind of like how they tested the water of Mandalorian, and now there's gonna be the Boba Fett because it did really well.
Oh yeah. Um, Shoot, with this show, you remember the old show called Quantum Leap back in the day?
Yeah.
I think that this show, well, even Quantum Leap plus I would even go as far as to say like Doctor Who. They could set this show up to be like a Doctor Who and a Quantum Leap of 2021. Honestly, with the way that they're playing with time and they're employing him to spoiler alert, employing him to go through these different timelines and chase
To
himself
basically
pretty much.
himself, yeah.
Yeah, like I think that they're setting him up, setting this show up to be like a multi-season type deal that's just going to go ongoing. Marvel could literally do whatever the fuck they want to do with this entire show.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the fact that they're digging deep into like these only characters that comic heads know. Like, we're seeing like the Timekeepers, and we're seeing the probably the Infinite, or maybe Adam or something like that. These people that aren't in the cinematic universe but are a huge part of it.
Well, they're about to start. What is that? They got the new movie coming out. What is it? This is the Celestials that are coming out.
The
Yeah,
Eternals.
The Eternals.
Eternals,
That's it. I
yeah,
don't know why I
Eternals,
called it
yeah,
Celestials.
yeah.
because like if you know the comics and you know like Adam Warlock and stuff, like he's ridiculously strong, so strong that
Mm-hmm.
no one ever thought they could put him into the movies because he literally just creates own universes, the same as Mr. Fantastic's boy. He can like just create his own universe, and I think that's what's happening where they're at right now. It's just being negated because they're controlling their reality.
So, what do you think that they're? What do you think? What direction do you think they're going to go with Loki? Um,
I think he's going to maybe become less of a villain and become part of the team. Because think, we just lost so many top players due to just retiring. So they need to replace the team. And Loki's never been a bad guy. He's just been someone who looks out for himself and has these political views. I really like the way that he was talking about how he's a political man. And he's like, I'm a political fighter, not a bad guy. So I think they're setting him up to replace, like Iron Man and stuff like that, like people that aren't going to be in the cast no more.
what direction do you think they're going to go with?
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did. I had to make sure your audio was good. I don't know if I mean Loki has been a bad guy. I got to
Not
disagree with you
not a
on that one.
bad guy.
No, he's been a bad guy.
He's
Come
like a
on.
vigilante that has been misrepresented because we've never seen his point of view, and I think that's
Ah,
what we're going to get into right now. Like Deadpool's a bad guy if you see him from other
no,
people's point of view, but if
Deadpool
you
is
see
an
it from
anti-hero.
but that's only when you see it from his point of view. When you see it from other people's point of view, he's a bad guy.
Well, I would say
That's the definition of a vigilante is it's only from his point of view that
no,
he's
he's not
actually a
even a
good guy.
vigilante. Well, I would say this: Deadpool's not even a vigilante. Deadpool literally is just he was an assassin, and he's just an anti-hero. He's reluctantly good. He is inherently good overall. As far as Loki goes, Loki has extremely selfish ambitions, and that's what drives him. So
Mm.
he's not an anti-hero, and he's not a good guy. He is pretty much a bad guy. I would say he's one you could probably overlook, but he is dangerous depending on his ambitions because all the stuff that he's done so far, it's all been through selfish means or like for personal gain. So he's definitely not a hero. Now, as far as this capacity on the show, I think that they're setting him up to be, like I said earlier, like a Quantum Leap or more of like a Doctor Who, but like a kind of a shit, what do you? I don't even know how you would call him that. He's a bad guy who's put in a position to where he's going to help them because he wants to save his own ass.
He could be redeemed. Just
Yeah,
basically say that. Yeah.
yeah. He could be redeemed, but this version of Loki can be redeemed. Not the one he's chasing. The one he's chasing is the one that's being led by absolute power, gain, and XYZ. But this Loki here, this specific one that's going to be in the show, he's the one that we can call kind of an anti-hero, but still he's only doing it for selfish means. I think at some point he's still going to try to escape and get out of it.
He already did try to
I think
escape.
that I think
Yeah.
that part of it also is going to have to do with Tom Hiddleston's such a great actor, and people love Loki. Like Loki's got a huge following even before the show, and he didn't really get a good proper send off, right? Like so you got your main characters in the Avengers, they got their good send offs, and Loki kind of just X'd out right at the beginning of the last movie. So I think this will be his good send off. And I think the other thing this show will do is really get us prepped up for more of the timeline exploration and multiverse stuff, because we've got Ant-Man Quantumania, and then we've got the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And, as a lot of us comic nerds know, that stuff is kind of hard to wrap your head around if you're not in the space. And I think that this show will start to introduce us to that a little bit more.
That was a good damn analysis. Yeah, what he said. So who was the kid in the beginning? Do you guys remember that?
Who's Air Mattress Poppy?
Oh, that's my homeboy. Let him in. Air Mattress Poppy. That name always still gets me.
Oh, the kid. You talking about the kid in the church?
Yeah, the kid in the church. Like, I know who the fuck that guy was. But then again, I was watching it while I was driving back home. So,
I don't think he is a reference to anybody. I think it's just trying to show what's his name's character as not as bureaucracy driven as the other guys in the TVA. The lady would have been like wipe him, kill him. But he doesn't. I think it's trying to give him some more like feeling, so you can root for him a little bit, helping Loki.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being like this cold thing that's going on. So I think that was just like character building. I don't think that kid actually is anybody.
oh, okay.
Yeah, there is
Yeah,
something
I
else
missed a lot of
about
that
that.
shit.
There's something else about that scene where the kid had that bubble
The
gum or
bubble gum.
whatever. Yeah. And the guy made a comment like, leaving treats or something like that wherever he goes. So that I'm really curious to see how they frame up this villain character, and if maybe he's not the villain that we're expecting him to be, like what his motives are going to be. Especially with those charges that they were leaving behind that he's like been taken or whatever, like that had me really intrigued.
Oh, the
Well,
rewind shits.
I think it's because because the timelines happen in multiple times. In one of the timelines, Loki does escape and now has like a vengeful thing against the timekeepers. So he's legit collecting those to build like a mass reset.
Huh.
So you think he's trying to prevent himself from being on the timeline where he dies or something like that?
I think he's just trying to go straight suicidal, like reset everything.
Yo,
And
did you let
kind of
did
like
you let
Thanos.
Donnie in? Cordy,
Huh?
did you let Donnie in?
I'm here.
Oh, what up, man?
Hey, what's going on? I was just letting y'all chop it up. I didn't want to interrupt and disrupt the flow. I'm just letting y'all speak on it.
Oh, just letting you Chi Man talk, huh? Okay. Well, what do you initial thoughts of episode 1? What do you think, man?
I think it's dope. I think it
Oh,
confirmed.
first of all, man, first introduce yourself, man.
Hey, so yeah, I got this goofy ass name up here because it's funny. But I am Donnie. I have a channel on YouTube. It's YAS4W. You ain't shit for watching. I do content. I do shenanigans, and I'm a friend of Shy.
All right, now, so initial thoughts of episode 1 of Loki.
Yeah, so it confirmed my suspicions. Loki was the catalyst for the big bad of the first phase of the MCU. I think he's going to be a catalyst in some way, shape, or form for the next phase. Whatever interdimensional being or Galactus or whoever we're fighting, it's going to be somebody interdimensional, and I think Loki will be the catalyst for it. I like the way they set up the TVA. I like the way they differentiated Loki from the Loki that we grew to love and I guess you would say care for in the Marvel universe before Thanos cracked his neck. So I think this is going to be an interesting series to watch, something powerful to say the least. And I think it'll connect with probably Spider-Man and Doctor Strange for sure. So and WandaVision. So yeah, this will send ripples throughout the quote unquote MCU.
All right, I like the assessment. You catch any of the Easter eggs in the show?
I'm gonna be honest. I caught it late at night. I need to watch it the second time because I was falling asleep through it. But I'm gonna have to watch it the second time. So I missed a lot of Easter eggs.
Yeah, I got to catch it again too. We were talking earlier about the whole the Infinity Stones that they were using as paperweights and stuff. And in my opinion, I think that was a turning point in the show because it had Loki basically just going through. That was his oh shit moment. Because up until now, he didn't think anything else existed except himself and his God universe. So when he saw that, he's like, oh shit. And then
I got the faintest of vibes that he knew who the I guess the timekeepers, the three were. I just didn't think he knew to this experience that they had this amount of power. Because remember when the chick came to arrest him, he was like, "Oh yeah, you got me fucked up." And then
yeah,
I don't know if I can cuss.
yeah, no,
But
go ahead.
Yeah, he was like, "You got me fucked up. I'm finna show you some godly shit." And they was like,
When
"All
he
right,
tried to use his power, there was
what's
like,
coming? Yeah, when's that
When?
coming? Oh, it's not pow." Let me
hit him with
rewind.
that.
Take his ass up again.
I thought it was hilarious when he was in the court and he tried to use his power in the court and everybody started laughing at him. It was like, what are you trying to do? They were like, he's trying to use his powers. So they see this kind of stuff all the time. And when he tried to do that, that was just hilarious to me. They were just snicking around him. He's like, oh yeah, y'all think it's shit funny, huh? Bet. Stand by, watch. Nothing.
Yeah,
It was a level
that
of
was
embarrassment.
great.
What are you saying, Cable?
When that was great when everybody started laughing at him when he was trying to get through his thing in the court, and
Hey,
it made me think about that first scene where he got smacked in the face with that stick, and he was moving real slow.
She told him how slow he was moving.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh shit, yeah, man. YouTube killed my stream, bro. They said you're doing too much.
Wait a minute, they did it already?
Oh yeah, they killed my shit. Yeah.
What?
It's all good.
You stay. You just stay fucking with you.
Yo, it's all right. I already knew it was gonna happen anyway. It is what it is. I don't think what I'll do is just I'll just have you send me the copy and I'll just post it.
Okay.
what was you doing on your screen?
Shit, watching Loki at the same time. Yeah, they don't like that shit.
How do you feel about Disney's approach to these shows, though? Like doing the week by week basis instead of like the Netflix approach of here's everything.
I mean, it's a traditional way of doing it, so it is what it is.
It also keeps the viewership from doing that temporary 1 month sign up, watch all the episodes, and then say sorry, no.
Yeah, I've just gotten used to these shows coming out like The Boys and stuff, and really being able to get the whole story at once. It's not a bad thing. It's just like man, I hate waiting for shit.
Yeah, The Boys, we had to wait weekly too for that too, though.
Yeah,
The boys was weekly. I think
that might be one of the shows I just waited to the end to watch it.
let me think. Anything on Netflix is pretty much weekly. Even Hulu at a certain point was dropping stuff on a weekly basis.
Nah,
Yeah, I don't mind it, but
it's Netflix. Netflix is the last one that'll give you a show one season at a time. Anywhere else you go, they chop it up, make you wait every week. HBO Max, Disney, Amazon, Hulu, they make you wait week to week. Netflix is the last real G that'll say, "Here's a season, have fun." But
They call him the last real G.
You gotta worry about the spoilers if you can't watch the season in time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I woke up Wednesday, started working, and I forgot Loki was dropping in the middle of the week. And I saw Magneto was trending on Twitter, and I freaked out. And watched Loki thinking that there was a Magneto spoiler, but they were just talking about vaccines.
Talking about that.
Yeah, talking about vaccines.
Oh, the lady who thinks she
got
get
me.
magnet powers from taking the vaccine.
Yeah. I saw Magneto was trending, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta watch Loki right now."
Yo, they
You guys
got
seen
you.
BoJack?
See what?
I did not like it. I thought it was
I didn't
cute.
like it either.
I just
I
wasn't a fan.
I forced myself to get through it, and it kind of grew on me a little bit, but in the same way like a Adult Swim show grows on you. Like you just watching it because there ain't nothing else to do at that time. You know, they could have done so much better with that show. It definitely looks like an Adult Swim like late night show.
Shit, what was the I guess what was your favorite part of episode 1 of Loki though?
I gotta say when he got the belt around her neck and gave us that classic Loki.
Oh, when he started messing with her and rewinding her over and over again?
Yeah, I think it showed his true strength. Like his powers aren't his Asgardian powers. His powers are his mischief and his being able to move the person you're looking at to something else. That's his true power, and I like that they displayed it. Even with his like perceived Asgardian powers stripped away, he was still able to like basically escape.
Outsmart them. Yeah, he was able to outsmart them regardless of whether or not he had powers or not. So I did like that. I don't know where Courtney went to.
She went to go rewatch it.
Should go watch it real quick. Shoot. Let me see. I would press play on it. Oh, I was just asking what was your favorite part on the episode 1?
My favorite part? I really don't have a favorite part right now. I really don't.
I think my favorite part was when I think they were going through the hallway and he was looking out and like literally these beings created these guys just for the sole purpose of timekeeping. So when he told the guy he was going to gut him like a fish, and then the guy didn't know what the fuck a fish was, he was like, "No, what is a fish? I need to know what a fish is to gauge exactly how severe your punishment that you're threatening me with is. What's the fish?" I
Also,
thought that was
there's
hilarious.
I also like the part where like you saw Loki just like starstruck by the building basically, because that's how everybody feels when they see Asgard, right? Now he's looking outside this hallway and he's like, that can't be real, it's just funny how it came full circle. Everybody goes to Asgard and they're like, this can't be real, and he's like, oh, this is nothing, and now he's getting the same thing. So it's just really showing him that there's levels to this shit. He ain't at the top no more.
That's why I love the part where about the paperweights, and he went back to the room where he was actually being held captive at first. He went back there willingly instead of trying to get out because he realized like, shit, I'm Loki, but like Loki don't mean shit around here. Like I literally am negated. I don't have any powers or anything. He just kind of puts his head down and he starts re-looking over all the footage of the timeline he would have been a part of. And I think at that part, I think that was a deciding factor in helping him too. But still, he's still going to try to get out of that whole thing. Like I know this for a fact. Let's see, watch this shit here. Boom.
What do y'all think about the whole aesthetic of the show?
I like it.
And how it kind of reminds you of like an old 70s sitcom, but it's straight up giving me Doctor Who, British sci-fi TV show tease.
That's what it's gonna be. I think there's gonna be a Doctor Who 2021. Loki is a new Doctor Who, new quantum leap. Remember in the Umbrella Academy, the whole aesthetic of that whole thing with the people who were bouncing back and forth through time. The same thing. And it's weird that a lot of different shows choose that aesthetic. Like it's just weird.
I mean, a lot of games do too. To me, it's got that We Happy Few vibe with the workers.
I remember that. Yeah, that was good. Shit, you could even say, remember what was the other game? BioShock Infinity.
Yeah, pretty much close to the same aesthetic. But like when you first start up the game, We Happy Few, and you're in the office and everything, and it's just like a totally different world that you're not used to, but it also seems familiar. That they're definitely hitting that kind of vibe.
Because you got what's the character's name? Is it Owen Wilson?
Yeah, Owen Wilson plays the guy.
Yeah, Owen Wilson with the like the ratty type suit. He's like a time detective or whatever you want to call it. That whole thing, the what was it? The little rewind video stand-up thing or whatever you want to call it, with like the CRT TV type of tube TV type of display. all that stuff. Because like these people are like beings that have powers beyond anything that we can imagine, and they're choosing to use like these little devices and stuff. Um,
It really drives home the fact that it's not what it seems. Like this place is not what it seems. You know, it's you're seeing an old computer, but at the same time, it's the most advanced technology in the world. You know, it can literally see into your life.
no, the one with
And,
the when he says sign here, and he got the big ass stack of old school printouts.
that was funny. It was even on dot matrix paper.
Yeah, oh, the old school shit. Yeah, so that's I love the whole show. I think that we're gonna be in for a treat because I think they're gonna be going back and forth through time. So we're gonna see some old school shit like that, maybe even some futuristic shit, some cyberpunk type shit. I don't know. What you got,
I
Donnie?
think it's gonna be good.
Of the first episode. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, the trailers they were dropping was the majority of the first episode. Like I was looking for a DB Cooper payoff, and it happened so quick. I was like, wait a minute, that was the DB Cooper payoff. Oh, okay. That was from a drunken bet. All right, I got you. And they made that seem like it was going to be a whole episode of shenanigans going on. So yeah, I'm real excited to see what this.
Yeah, they played
this
us on that one. They really did.
Could y'all,
they
any one of y'all, explain to me about the whole, what is it, DC Cooper?
DB
That whole
Cooper.
incident? Yeah, that. Can you explain to me what was the whole incident?
So basically, I don't know if this was the 60s or the 50s, but basically a while back, dude did a robbery on the plane, landed, made them give a whole bunch of money to him, got up in the sky, and he jumped out the plane. hit a parachute. They could not find this dude thereafter. They didn't find the money. He just got away clean. And there's so many conspiracy theories about it to where it's evolved to where he was an alien, which would explain Loki and all this other stuff. So it's like, oh, the government did and everything else. So they paid it off by saying he jumped out of the plane, and instead of hitting the parachute, Heimdall snapped him out of there.
Wow. So how much money did he get?
It was a couple million.
A couple million?
It was a heist that he got away with clean.
That's right. They did do that in the beginning. They sure did because the guy was like amazed at it. He was like, "Yeah, you're DB cool. Okay." I totally forgot about that.
They paid that. They did it so quick. I was like, wait a minute, that was the scene? Because I thought, you know what I'm saying? When they show it like it's gonna be okay. This is a whole episode. He's gonna have to pretend to be DB Cooper. Is he getting an Infinity Stone? What is he doing? And he was just drunk. it basically slapped every nerd in the face because they thought it was gonna be some serious. Oh my god! All right, this is finna be lit, and it was literally a minute and 30 seconds. And yeah, no, I was drunk. Oh, that's all we get.
I think honestly, I think we're going to be seeing that a lot. I think Loki all through time has been doing stuff, but like they told him that his version was a minor variant. So I think he's been doing this kind of stuff all through time, and they just really didn't fuck with him until that major infraction when he picked up a Tesseract.
So the way they explained it was he was the regular timeline Loki that we know, and when they went back in time and they dropped the Tesseract in front of him, he picked it up. Because remember in the last Avengers movie, that it was a oh shit, Loki disappeared. What's gonna happen with Loki?
Right.
So that's where they picked it up at. He went into the Sahara or whatever desert he was in, and he was in front of that little boy, and he was looking crazy. They picked on.
Oh, they set us up for an okie doke long time ago when we first saw it, and we never thought anything of it. So they've been thinking like way ahead in time. Okay,
that's why I like Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige has a board. I got all the keys. Kevin Feige has a board that is probably all the way into the next phase, and he's got it heavily written out. That's why I'm very much curious what they're going to do with Black Panther, because he wrote Black Panther in certain scenes, and now Black Panther is gone. So they're going to have to fill that role, and I don't think Shuri is old enough to play, at least in the MCU anyway, old enough or experienced enough to play, unless in that 5-year time skip, they've done something. But
they're also doing this with Falcon right now. Like they're setting up the next characters.
Yeah. What about what do y'all think about Killmonger? I keep hearing they say they're gonna bring Killmonger back and he gonna take the role of Black Panther. What y'all think about that?
Hmm. I mean, it depends on what they do with it. I don't think he's gonna be the Black Panther. I'm not sure, man. I don't even know how they're gonna bring him back to life.
So I've been on some boards. They were talking about Shuri. That basically them pulling out dude from some kind of something and getting him together. Probably on some y'all remember that movie with Demolition Man, Wesley Snipes, where they kind of had him in the cryo prison, but they reformatted his brain and
Yeah.
they taught him all these skills. Maybe I'm thinking that they may do something to that effect, but that's with the theories are going around as to maybe he will be a placeholder until Shuri's old enough, or maybe they'll even go into a multiverse situation and get it. But from my understanding, they have Namor coming in. So we're gonna have to have some kind of Black Panther that's ready to fight for Namor, because Namor has never been a punk in the Marvel universe at all.
No, I remember when
I can't wait. I
they
can't
have all
wait
the
to see him.
locations. Remember they had all the
What about
locations on the map.
what about one dude that was in the last Black Panther movie? He was fighting him for like leadership.
Marco?
You talking
Um,
about the white gorilla, white ape?
M'Baku?
Gorilla Ape?
M'Baku?
yeah,
Was it?
when he
Yeah.
yeah, because he got his own suit and everything. And
He,
he technically wasn't a bad guy.
so in the comics, he's a bad guy. He if I'm not mistaken, didn't he took over at 1 or 2 points leadership from T'Challa, and T'Challa had to fight him back for it. So I'm
Yeah,
Mm.
curious how they're gonna run that, because the MCU is completely different. Like Loki was a good guy at the end of this. I don't really remember Loki ever being a good guy unless it was for a small spread where he was a good guy. He gained everybody's trust, and then got you, bitch, and and then started taking over and doing everything.
Yeah.
yeah, and they got options, and the way they're doing stuff, it really don't seem like they care about switching it up, long as they can put together another 10-year run for the next Avengers.
That's why I think that they did this on purpose with this entire show. Like they set it up to where they can do anything they want. They can literally make entirely new stories here. They don't necessarily have to follow anything that happened in the comics because of how they set it up. They can put some shit that we already know or we already read about, but for the most part, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, the universe has completely changed with the intervention of Sony. The way Sony played their game with Spider-Man, and they're like, no, we're keeping these characters. We're going to develop a Morbius movie. We're going to develop this movie. We're going to have Venom be over here. They've completely changed the universe. So um, remember, Venom wasn't a good guy at the beginning. Now he's a good guy from the start, from day one. So they've got to play that off in some way. And it's going to completely change the MCU to where it's its own comic book universe with the heroes we know and love. They just might be completely different.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
in the
I think that they're
comics
gonna.
they got Venom.
Well, I
But
think they're gonna branch out to the point where, like, I think this is what you're saying. They're gonna branch out to the point where they're not following anything that happened in the comic. It's gonna be its own entity. It's gonna be straight up Marvel Cinematic Universe, period. And they may loosely reference some of the things that happened in the comic, but not necessarily.
Right. I mean, look at Shang-Chi. Um, Shang-Chi and the Mandarin. So they brought the Mandarin in, and he has the 10 rings. The 10 rings are on his wrist. They're like wristbands. They're not actual finger rings. So, this is a completely different universe from everything else. And they're telling the story how they can to fit a movie format. So yeah, it's not going to follow the traditional movie comic book storyline because it's the movie theater. So in the movie theater, you can't do everything because you can't condense a 400-page comic book story into an hour and 30 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours. It just doesn't work. So they've done it in order to make it their own universe and make it successful.
Do you think they're gonna also set us up for let's say like Loki, Falcon, and Winter Soldier? Do you think they're gonna try to set us up for movies that are coming from those series as well, intermittently?
No, if Kevin Feige is at the helm, um, I just really feel like Loki's gonna bite somebody in the ass at some point. I think this whole variant, Loki is gonna be a good guy to a certain extent, and then something's gonna flip the switch, and it's world take over Loki again.
I I don't know. I honestly I think that they're gonna just push this out to maybe 3 seasons, 4 or 5, even if they can, and just have him on his little shenanigans where it's a back and forth dance of him trying to escape every now and then, but ultimately he's still going to be trying to help. Not
So
really.
you think they'll basically make him a Suicide Squad Loki?
I think that they're going to have him be
Mm.
a Doctor Who of 2021. That's what I think they're going to do. I think that everything that happens, let's say anything good or bad, is a byproduct of him, quote unquote, helping them do whatever. But ultimately, his main goal is getting the fuck away from them. That's what
Yeah,
I
this is going to be interesting to see, just the dynamic in general. But I am curious to see how they will set this movie up for the Multiverse of Madness, the Spider-Man movie, because all of this is supposed to be the shockwave catalyst to set up Doctor Strange. And then from everything that they're saying with Spider-Man, Spider-Man starts off kind of being screwed up from the events of WandaVision. My understanding of WandaVision is it was supposed to air after Loki.
really know.
Yeah, so they switched up the timeline because we
Wasn't
were supposed to get.
the Falcon and Winter Soldier supposed to come out first, then WandaVision, and
I
then Loki?
I thought it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which took place during the events of the Spider-Man movie, and
Mm-hmm.
then
You breaking up, bro?
because the Loki movie or the Loki TV show takes place as soon as they're done in the Infinity Wars, and then WandaVision takes place 6 weeks after the events of what happened with I guess Endgame. So I thought that was the
Mm-hmm.
platform, and then in addition to that, we were supposed to have already had Black Widow come out and be done, and then there was one more that was supposed to be. Oh, Spider-Man was supposed to have been finished right now,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh
that
yeah, like it's really interesting how they moved everything around a little bit. Some of it I don't think matters, because like the events of Loki kind of, I mean it's time displaced, right? So it's happening directly after Avengers, but at the same time it's in its own little pocket. And then really Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision can almost happen concurrently because they don't interlock. But I do think that they moved Loki to come out on Wednesdays because of something to do with the Black Widow release. Because like you said, like it was supposed to have already be out, and now that they moved it to Wednesdays, I think that it'll either be done or it'll be like one episode from being finished before Black Widow drops in theaters.
So I wonder if they're gonna have a bunch of offshoots of different events that have happened based on the events in Loki, because he's gonna be all over the place.
yeah,
Or
that's why I keep saying he's gonna set up. He's gonna do something that's gonna screw up something to where Doctor Strange has to come in and fix something, and those impact Spider-Man. So I'm very curious to see where it goes. And then we have Miss Marvel, who I'm trying. She's not a mutant. What's the other category where it's not mutants but they're mutant like?
mm, shit, Miss Marvel, hell,
Because
I don't know.
she's getting
She
her show.
ain't she Cree? No, oh,
They're,
I know you talking about the other Marvel.
yeah, they're not mutants, but they're like mutants, right? So you have
Yeah.
um them, and that sets up. So for her to be there, they would have to either explain that away in some fashion to where she's not a inhuman. There you go, inhuman,
Mm.
where she's not an inhuman, or they're gonna have to introduce the inhuman somehow. So I'm very curious where Loki goes because, like I said, he's going to be the catalyst for the next. He's going to be the catalyst for the next two phases, I believe. He's going to set all that up. You're bringing in the mutants. You're bringing in the Inhumans. How are you doing this? And I think it starts with Loki.
Well,
Mm.
were you talking about Monica Rambeau?
No. Miss Marvel.
Nah.
So Miss
Okay,
Marvel
Miss
Miss
is the one
Marvel.
Marvel,
with the
gotcha.
stretchy arms, with the big
Yeah, the one
hands.
that stretches. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
I
her.
get you.
So they set that up, and then you also have the Eternals, which the Eternals play a role in the mutant and the human version of characters that are on the Earth. So you have a lot going on.
I want to know how they're gonna introduce the mutants, like X-Men and like Fantastic Four and all of them. I just want to know how they gonna introduce them. What
But
do
in
y'all
the
think?
comics, Mobius interacts with the Fantastic Four at some point.
Hmm.
So that is really interesting that they, they haven't done anything with the mutants or Fantastic Four yet, like as far as introducing them, but they're starting to like drop hints. Kind of like WandaVision when they were talking about that, what they said, like an astrophysicist or something like that, and they
Hmm.
didn't tell us what
Somebody's
it
in the wind
was.
tunnel.
Yeah, I think
So
I don't know. I can't wait for that though. I mean, it's a long time coming. I think everybody's anxious to see how they're gonna play it off. Because like they still got Wanda out here who's not a mutant, right? But in the comics, they're gonna have to rewrite a bunch of stuff with her relationship with Magneto and all that. So I don't know. They're gonna have to do some work.
I think that's what the whole role of House of M was, right? In the comics, House of M, Wanda said no more mutants, and there was
Hmm.
150 mutants, right? So
Hmm.
they paid it off to where she created her own miniature universe inside of that small town in Jersey, and now she's got that book and she's studying the book. And they say that the next basically two Marvel movies are universe reality bending, and inclusive of Loki. So there's going to be something that resets the universe, and hell, it may even pay off in the new Black Panther movie to where they reset and they've somehow got a new Black Panther in there that we don't acknowledge as T'Challa. I don't know, but they are doing some reality warping things. So if the reality is warped, then that could reset the timeline and reset the people to where mutants were always there, but XYZ reason.
Well, Wanda, they call her not a mutant or whatnot, but they call her a Nexus person.
Nexus being she's
Yeah, Nexus being.
the embodiment of the power. She's technically stronger than Doctor Strange in
Mm.
terms of magic. She just doesn't know how to control and use the magic.
Okay, so when Monica Rambeau came back from the blip or whatever, and when after she had got kicked out of the whole perfect neighborhood that Wanda had created, and when she went back in, that's when her powers basically got activated. Do you
Mhm.
think
They were activated
how?
when she got hit. When Wanda basically beat the shit out of her and hit her with her beam or whatever the fuck you want to call it, her powers. That
Yeah,
activated and started it right there. But see, I don't know.
They said when she went through that force field that Wanda
that
had set
force
up to
field.
separate the reality, the third time changed her DNA on a genetic level.
Right.
So when she had the powers.
Okay,
If you remember when she went through the third time, she came through with blue
yeah,
eyes.
yeah. So I'm wondering if they're gonna find a way to introduce the mutants. Would the mutants be those who disappeared with the snap and then they came back, and then something got to happen to them, some kind of trauma
Mm.
happening
No,
to them to
I think that
activate the power?
I think
So
the mutants
that's
already
how they
exist. I think.
that's how they explain the mutant powers. They explain the mutant powers as being a gene that is already present, and they say deep stress or puberty will flip that gene, and then they get their powers and they transform. And then with the Inhumans, if I remember correctly, they had like a Terrigen mist that hit
Hmm.
the planet and gave everybody their powers. They got encased in like a stone, and then they broke out that stone and became Inhumans immediately after.
Hmm. Damn.
I used to have all the comics. I had all the Secret Wars. I had like all 200 son of the Secret Wars, and I used to
Hmm.
collect them all. So I get nerdy sometimes.
Yeah, I still got a lot of them, man. Like still in the plastic. I read them one time and put them back in the plastic. Um, man,
Yeah, I got like
I'm
four
just serious.
boxes.
Oh, $4, man. Shoot, let me see what you got. But yeah, I'm really interested in what they're gonna do with this whole thing. As far as what like Loki, I like you said earlier, Donnie. I love that they're gonna actually give him a good send off with this series, and I think the potential in it is extremely great. The first episode. Some people could say it was lackluster, but honestly, I think it was perfect.
It was. It
Perfect.
really
It
was.
was a prelude. It was a warm you up to it. That's all
So
it was.
what
But
season?
What's that?
my biggest thing is, go ahead.
I was just curious what season. What show you talking about?
Talking about Loki, how they're setting it up to be just all over the place. I think that the shenanigans and all the stuff that happens, the whole cat and mouse game that he's going to end up playing with it. He's going to try to get away a few times. They're going to zap him back, and he's going to like even in the trailer when he thinks that he's like so many steps ahead of them, and they're like, yeah, no, you're not. So I think the whole dynamic between him and this whole agency is going to be one thing that we're going to fall in love with as far as the series goes. But then how they're going to be setting everything else up that's happening in the MCU from now until whenever they start releasing the movies in the phases, I think is going to be great too.
This whole show is a perfect way to desensitize people, and what I'm talking about is like the fanboys. Because if we were talking about the comics earlier, and everybody's like, "Oh, follow the comics," but you're talking about following one comic. Because I have the same character in those boxes out there that follow 25 different storylines. You know, Spider-Man joins up with Doc Ock in his brain most recently for Superior Spider-Man and stuff. That's not how
But you know what the
Spider-Man
beautiful thing the beautiful thing about this series though is, like, I think the way they're going to set it up, the MCU, you're not going to have to be a comic book buff at all. You're going to be a MCU fan of the
Well,
series.
I was saying I think they're trying to desensitize like the fanboys who are like, only Iron Man is Iron Man, and only Thor is Thor, and you can't change them, and this character can't be black, and this character can't be white. I think they're desensitizing people to that. So because this new Marvel universe is going to be completely different looking than what we did have for the last 10 years. It's not going to be nowhere near the same. It like think about like the comics they were putting out. They were already starting to put out the new Avengers and stuff like that with characters that aren't remakes of Thor or something like that. They're just whole new characters, doing whole new things. The team is different now, and a lot of people don't like that change, especially like these kids that they were kids and now they're grown as adults growing up on the Marvel universe. I feel the same way. I don't think anybody else could ever play Logan. Do I know that someone else has to take that spot? Yeah. But they have to start desensitizing you to that to get you on this new journey, because we're about to switch the whole thing up. It's
I
like
think they're doing such a great job with it. Like, let's be honest, MCU, they have the formula down. DC cannot compete as far as movie goes,
I'm so sick of
now,
DC.
yeah, with as far as movies and shows,
I
now
can't stand DC.
I don't know. Swamp Thing was really good.
They
If you
had
didn't
one
get to watch,
job.
if you
I
didn't
don't-
get to watch Swamp Thing, it was really good.
I didn't
Swamp
watch it.
Thing was good.
I
Swamp
didn't watch
Thing
it.
was so freaking good, and I was
Yeah,
so mad that it got
they
canceled
canceled.
after one
Yep.
season.
I was
I
like,
was so pissed.
y'all only good show gets canceled.
The only good one, thank you. Doom Patrol is everything though. I love Doom
Doom
Patrol.
Patrol was good.
Patrol's
I
good.
like Doom Patrol. I like
I love Doom Patrol.
Stargirl. Stargirl was a little cheesy, but it was good.
I haven't
I
watched
will say
Stargirl.
DC still has the title for anything animated for now.
Oh yeah, they
agree.
animation
I
is
think
off the
Marvel
chain.
will
They got that.
figure it out at some point. They got what's the
What if?
what if? Yeah, what if? I think
Now that one,
that might give
I
DC
saw
a
the
run on the animated. Yeah,
yeah, that's gonna give DC a run on their money.
yeah. But the one leg up, like Homeboy was saying, Marvel has is they can do like everything's in house, right? So they can start publishing new comic stories if that's what they need to do to get buy-in from certain parts of their fan base. Or just like with before they bought the Fox properties when they canceled the Fantastic Four comic because nobody could get a Fantastic Four movie right. So
Yeah,
they're about to change everything up. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
I mean, then the last comic they made Thor a female now. It's a female Thor, and that's just it's gonna piss off those dudes that are like Thor's a dude. It can't be a
It'll be
chick.
okay. But you know what?
Yeah, but
They'll
it was
be all right.
good. But it was a
They're gonna
really
bitch
good
about
comic.
everything.
Everybody bitch about it and everything, and you're gonna see a lot of hate and stuff like that, and then it's just gonna keep going and it's gonna grow and become the new amazing Marvel universe that
That's
we
what I'm
know.
saying. Like, you're gonna have to, like, people are gonna have, look, we're all comic book fans, but for what MCU is, Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's gonna be that standalone thing. They're gonna loosely reference the comics, but for the most part, it's gonna be its own standalone thing. And if they can either wrap their head around it and accept it for what it is, or just completely shun it. But I really don't think that they're going to shun it because they do such a good job with it. I have yet to be disappointed, except with the exception of Captain Marvel. That was trash. But
Y'all really hate that shit. I don't know why y'all
it's
hate that movie
it
so
is the
much.
actor. It's the actress. It's the actress.
I keep hearing so much bad shit about it. It scares me. I don't even want to watch the movie.
You don't gotta watch. You can actually miss it and be okay. You can miss it. Matter of fact, you can watch Endgame, and that's enough. Captain Marvel. That's all you need to see.
To be honest, that's the only Marvel Cinematic Universe movie I have not watched was that Captain Marvel because
You ain't
I keep
missing
hearing
nothing.
so many horror stories about this shit. That's
It's
crazy.
it's it's the actress. If anything, it's the actress. That's the main thing.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. I want to give credit to like all these movies, but it really was bad. It wasn't good.
And I was pissed off when I saw Monica, and when I saw the little black girl, I was like, "That's Monica Rambeau, right? That's her."
Mm-hmm.
And I was, and the comic book nerd in me got pissed off when I saw it. I'm like, "Oh, that ain't the way it happened." I'm like, "Wait a minute, let me chill.
You know
I
they're
can't
gonna
get mad."
change it. You
Yeah,
know
I'm
they're
like,
gonna
yeah,
change.
I'm like, I can't be mad about this. This is cinematic universe. All right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I left it alone. And then at the end of WandaVision, when I saw that happen, when she got her powers, I was super hyped.
I
Super,
was
super
too.
hyped. I'm like,
I
whoa,
was
what?
too.
And
So
don't worry, they can remake that character because if there's one thing that Marvel is not afraid to do is just say completely fuck it if it's not working out and change it up. Look at Spider-Man. They went through a bunch of them before they got it right. Same with the Hulk. They went through a bunch of those before they got it right. So if this Captain Marvel stuff isn't working out, they'll dip it and then figure out a way to make it work later and just completely change the actress, the storyline, all that on you until
yeah,
it works.
we're not gonna talk about the first Hulk, man. We're gonna leave that alone.
Whoa, whoa.
He 18,
I
he
draw the
18
line
feet
at
tall,
any
and he's
Edward
6
Norton
feet tall.
slander. Y'all ain't gonna slander Edward Norton in here, all right? Come on, y'all.
Well,
Well,
you know what? What was worse
the
though?
incontinuity.
Fucking Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider.
Oh
I
my
liked it.
god.
I liked it, but I like anything Nick Cage. I expect it to be cringy. I'd have been mad if it was
Let me go
good.
ahead
I
and get on
love
Steam and
Nick
unfriend you right
Cage.
now, man. What?
I love Nick Cage. In my
I would have
eyes, he
been
can't
mad
do
if it
no
was
wrong.
good. Yeah,
They,
he is awkward, and that's what makes it a good movie.
they should have kept it at. They should have just kept it at one, and that was it. They should have went any further than the first one.
Yeah, and that's not his fault though. The second one had really bad writing. You can't blame it on Nick Cage. It was just poorly written. The whole story sucked.
That last one
But
was straight garbage juice,
you know,
sprinkled with some.
I would love to see Nick Cage on the main floor with like the Avengers and stuff, just looking around confused. Like, that would be beautiful. That would be amazing. Like he's in Avengers Towers. He's like, "Where's the treasure, guys?" I would die. I would have loved for him to made it all the way to the MCU. It was beautiful.
Imagine him in a scene
Mm-mm.
with Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool.
No.
Oh yeah, that would have been.
No.
He definitely would have made
That'd be
references.
everything though.
Yo, no,
Deadpool would
right?
be making all the
Deadpool might have would have
references.
caught. Deadpool
He'd
might
be
have shot
like, he'd be like, "Are we gone in 60 seconds?" Or Deadpool would reference all his Nick Cage's
Mm-mm.
movies.
him. True. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and change the title of this from pop culture and bullshit to and everything else.
Yeah, and everything else.
Oh
I
man, that was funny.
appreciate being invited on. I'm actually gonna go rewatch it right now and then get some sleep in. So
Oh, dude, I was about to get back on Destiny after this.
I mean, I can hop on for a little bit. I guess I'll
Bet.
mess with you. Let me get back in there. I'm going to my 100 though. I'm done with this stupid warlock. It's over.
All right, that'll work. What the fuck? Oh man.
Actually, I got to play like 2 more matches on the warlock. Then I'm done with it.
I think I had to. What is this? What's going on with this shit? I had my stuff all the way jacked up. Damn. All right, let me see. How long we been going on this?
Probably like an hour or 2.
An
No, it's
hour,
been less than
almost an
that.
hour. It's like 59 minutes, 16 seconds. An
Yeah, see an
hour.
hour.
Let me see. I gotta change my shit. Remind me later. Oh, it says my content was reviewed due to violation of community guidelines.
What is you
Yeah.
doing?
No. This one's still going because I learned my lesson on this one, so this one's fine.
I said he was streaming the
Oh,
show.
But the first one, yeah, I was streaming like the whole show. I thought I could get away with it. I thought they'd let me go.
Nah,
dude,
they copyright strike your ass.
Man, super quick.
dude. Disney don't play that shit, bruh.
I should have
Bro,
already known this though, but since I was using Plex, the app called Plex, I thought I was good.
but
Nah,
Disney can hear you thinking about sharing it. Disney ban your account for inviting your friend over to watch it.
Exactly.
They'll be like, "Yo, he need to log in if he gonna be looking at your TV."
damn,
Disney
damn.
want all that
Scan your
corn.
barcode. Yep, and that's how it's gonna be in the future when they put them implants in your eyes. You have to pay to see stuff. They're just gonna black out your eyes.
I had to change my title on that one. Yeah, you know, I should have learned my lesson though, because I remember last time when I was trying to play My Hero Academia and all the other stuff, the anime stuff. It was like, nah,
They'll take you down quick, bro.
kick me off of everything. Like, sir,
Yeah.
do you know who the fuck we are?
You had to
That'd be
restart so many times.
It was
that's
like,
like trying to stream those UFC fights where they're gonna take you down fast, so you ain't going nowhere with it.
man, that's an understatement. So, what else we got going on the plate? Or we want to cut it?
I mean, I think you should pick it back up after everybody gets to rewatch it, maybe one or two more times, and then have a little bit more juicy detail to talk about because it sounds like everybody watched it, but just like any Marvel movie, you ain't really watch it till the third or fourth time you've seen it.
You know, what was it? I think it's something called cinema something or whatever. When they go over all the Easter eggs that you missed and all that.
Cinema Sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I know I missed because I mean I was driving back home when I was watching it, so I didn't get to see a lot of stuff. But I know I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely have to rewatch it, bro. How'd you feel about Invincible?
That's a whole matter of fact. Cuz
That show was beautiful.
Did you watch Invincible yet?
Okay, let me say this first.
It sounds like an excuse.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you missing out. I'm telling you, you're missing out.
Please don't kill me. Don't kill me. I'ma watch it, bro. I am.
You
I'ma
can
watch it.
You can binge it now. You ain't gotta wait week for week. It's just all the way out.
Yep, it's all you can binge watch it. Like tomorrow, you can binge watch the whole thing. Trust me, it's worth it.
If you like The Boys, you're gonna like it.
I love The Boys. I had most of the comic books on The Boys.
I think this
Then
is
I
more
love
brutal
The
than The Boys.
Yeah, in a weird way though, because they also make it seem like really calm and Spider-Man-y, like the kid thinks he's Spider-Man, and then they just straight go The Boys on him and change his entire life.
Now, the first damn episode, like every now and then, you feel like I think that this show could actually get its own damn podcast. We can dedicate one podcast just to that show. Honestly.
Oh yeah, I mean I can't wait for the next season of it, man. It's got some mind blowers at the end too. You really need to watch it. You need to
because
go
the first
watch
episode grabs you. The first episode grabs you by the balls. If you got a coochie, it's gonna grab you by the lips, whatever. But it
For real?
it's that crazy. Yeah.
No, what's the new terminology now? Birthers. You're a birthing person.
What?
That one lady was talking to Congress. This one lady was talking to Congress about like some women's rights or something like that, and she's like, "I'm not a woman. I'm a birthing person." She didn't want to be called a woman because the whole culture is trying to move to non-binary. Like they're about to get rid of
Listen, fuck that shit, bro. To those who don't want to be classified as a female or a male, good, do that. I'ma still say I'm a woman.
And look, she was trying to be like all political and stuff and being like, "Oh yeah, I'm not a woman. I'm a birthing person." And then people jumped on Twitter and got on her ass. They were like, "So all the people who can't have children, what are we? We just nobody."
Thank you. And I'm one. I can have no kids. So what? I'm just nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like fuck that.
She was like, "That's not what I meant." And they were like, "No,
that's exactly what the fuck she meant.
That's
crazy.
it's just like they're trying to get rid of freshmen because people are feeling salty when it's called freshmen. They want it to be just like
What?
first year. Yeah, they're trying to change it to first year, so there will be no more freshman class. There'll be first year class.
Oh gosh.
If
Dude,
the
our
rapture
world is
gonna
crazy.
come, let the rapture come. I'm ready for the rapture because
Too many
these
people
folks are
sensitive
doing
about the wrong thing, bro. Like,
they listen, it's so many weak willed motherfuckers out here. I like, goddamn, y'all would not have made it when we was growing up, bruh.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you got called something that was it. Like, if I'm on the phone and they're like, "Ma'am," I'm like, "All right." Anyways, I'm not gonna trip out about it because that your outlook on me don't affect my outlook on me. So you can call me whatever you want to, as long as you ain't insulting me. I'm
Yeah.
cool with it. You know,
And,
it,
and
it,
I get it. I get folks who wants to be acknowledged as a certain pronoun or title and everything. Go ahead, do you, be you and everything. But don't get mad at me when I still call myself a bitch or a woman or whatever, or still hold
Women.
or still hold the she and her pronoun or anything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I
I
get we got,
respect the I respect
but
your pronoun and everything, but you can't be to me. You can't be mad at somebody if they get it wrong and you don't tell
exactly.
them at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? If you don't introduce yourself as something, and someone just because that's how our language is structured says, "Hey, man, you got to come this way," and you get all upset because you're like, "Oh, I'm not a man," and it's like, oh, "I didn't know. I'm sorry." You can't. I think some people take it too far. They just want to be salty for the sake of being salty, and they just
I think
stretch it
so.
out.
Yeah,
They
some
stretch
folks
it
just
out
want
for
to
no
be. Some
reason.
folks just want to be difficult and sensitive just because. You
Yeah,
know what
that
I'm
makes sense.
It's ma'am.
saying?
Yeah,
Birds
like
in person. That's too many syllables.
I
Woman, 2 syllables. Birds in person. That's too many words.
was gonna say it's the same amount of syllables, but
It's too many words. Yeah, I did thought about that. It is about the same number of syllables, but no, it's too many words.
too many letters in that. Ain't no one gonna be able to spell that.
Fuck that. And freshmen. Why? Because it had men.
Yeah,
God,
that's it. That's the
Jesus.
only reason because it has men
Women
in it.
got men in it. Women got men in
Oh
it. So
God.
Nah,
what?
y'all just woes now. You ain't heard? You ain't
What?
heard? Y'all just woes now.
We what?
Y'all
Well,
woes.
the
Woes.
fuck
Whoa.
that.
We took the men out. Y'all just woes now.
Ah, fuck that. Fuck that.
Drake tried to let you know that a while ago. He's like, fucking with my woes. He took the man out the picture.
Fuck
That's a
that.
stretch, yo. That's a stretch.
What the hell ever, bruh? What the hell ever? Y'all are doing too much.
These woes out here.
Everybody's got to be represented.
And I don't mind.
Apparently.
And I understand that. I get that. You know what I'm saying? You want to be representative as you should be.
Look, I
But
ain't been represented for a long time because on my thing, it would say, what nationality are you? And I'm like, Hispanic. And they're like, that's not real. You're white. I'm like, what? What you mean? It'll say white and then underneath Hispanic. Like, why can't I just be who I am? Why can't I? You know what I'm saying? They're like, no, that's ethnicity. Okay.
I'm still confused with the
Yeah.
ethnicity and
A race.
race and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I'd be like, okay, whatever,
Like,
whatever. All
like,
right, whatever.
like a dude be Hawaiian. And so you're like, I'm Hawaiian. And they're like, no, you Asian. It's like, I ain't never been to Asia. My family was born on Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii my whole life. I don't speak Asian. Nah, you Asian, homie. Like, what?
No, it's just like my grandma when they started calling blacks African Americans. She was so hell bent on don't you even think about calling me a fucking African American. I ain't never been to Africa. None of the motherfuckers ever got on a boat, walked across
Yes.
that ocean to pick our asses back up. She said, "You better not ever call me an African American." I like, okay.
Yeah,
We ain't
I
never
mean,
been there.
technically, the culture has split so far between like the black culture in America and African culture that it's not even close. Like you can't even put them together. You know what I'm saying? Like it an African in Africa is different than a black American on every single aspect, like in every single
Hmm.
facet of the of being a person. So for you to just like I said, shove them over there is disrespectful. And the same way for like Africans to be like considered, American black, that's just disrespectful because their cultures are so different. It's not even close. You're just going off of looks.
Yeah, just basically just going off of looks and everything, but birth in person.
Yeah, birth in person.
Child.
And the woes, birthing folk and the woes.
Birthing folks and that's just too much. Every day is something new. I can't keep up with this shit. I
Bro, I
refuse.
gave up. I gave up a while ago. I can't.
I refuse to keep up with it. Y'all
I
doing
think
too much.
I think I have a friend who identifies as a door, so I don't know at this point.
Identifies as a what?
A door.
A door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, open it up for everybody. I don't. What?
They just stand in the way of shit, and you have to open them up.
What did you I saw in the news one day, it was this older white dude and everything. He had money, but he decided that he was gonna change his birth certificate to be rather than 60
Oh, I saw that
something.
he wanted to be younger because
Yeah.
the dating apps, the people on the dating apps wasn't giving him a chance because he was too old.
Yeah.
And
And
everybody
I
else
was
was like,
like,
"You can't do that." Like what? And he's like, "Well, why not?" And it's like, "Well, what if this dude wants to change his age from 16 to 24?" And now he out here voting, drinking, going to war. He's like, "Oh, I didn't think about it like that." He's like, "You dumbass."
Speaking
Yeah,
of
I
drinking,
like
I'm about to go get another beer. This is getting crazy.
I like, dude, your age, you can get on the sugar daddy website and everything, get all of the young
yeah.
tenderonies and shit like that.
He
Cause
he
that's what
talking
you
about
trying to do anyway.
he was talking about like I'll give up my pension and all that, and everybody's like, "Why?
You the fool. You dumb. Like, why
You
you
could
wanna give
just
up your pension?
tell people you however old you want to tell them. Like they ain't gotta look at your shit. It's not like the dating apps. Like, yo, let me see your ID. I need that real one.
I was like, y'all is doing too much.
Yeah,
Y'all is
well,
doing too much. Hell, dye your hair back black or blonde. You full on gray, bruh.
it's 2020. I didn't think that the world would even make it this far. I'm not surprised on anything no more. Everything's stupid. Everything's stupid. I remember it being just so much easier back in the day. Nobody was offended by nothing. We had Cat Williams just talking crazy shit. Like it was just beautiful days. And now like people just sensitive over a crosswalk or something.
Did we
You know
bring
what
up
I'm saying?
transracial yet?
What?
Bring up what?
Did we bring up transracial yet?
No,
What's the who trying to be who trying to be another shade?
There is a thing transracial where people can identify as being another race.
Oh yeah,
How?
it's the what they would like back in my day we called them like wiggers and stuff. It's the
Okay.
white boy who thought he was hard, but he was just really there to take the rap if anything went down. He was gonna hold on to all the shit as we get pulled over, but
Damn.
then he would identify as whatever he wanted to. So I know what you're talking about. That's funny.
Mm,
Look, people getting mad about the dumbest shit these days. Like I'm telling you, 2020, this whole this whole decade is going to be dumb. There's people getting mad about, like I said, crosswalks. I'm not even shitting you. Like the fact that the man on the crosswalk lights up white, people are getting mad about that. It's like, what? Why? It's a fucking indicator to walk, and you reading into the shit too much. You getting real deep on some shit that you don't need to be deep on.
see that right there. That's when somebody got too much time on their hands.
Yeah,
You
like
got
you
too
just
much time
looking
on
for
your
like
hands.
you need to go adjust your life, go to the gym or something. You need to figure out something to do
Find a
because you're
hobby.
bored.
Why are you beefing with the sidewalk? You beefing with the street signs.
What do you
That
think
what you
about
Bro,
people?
like,
doing?
What do you think about people getting canceled for like old shit that they tweeted or whatever?
bro, tell me what I have every time I be sitting on the toilet. I
Mm,
don't even scroll no more because I'm on Facebook deleting old dumb shit I said so I don't get fucking canceled. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I get a free chance, I'll go to my memories and be like, oh, I gotta delete this entire day.
Because sometimes you're not the same person or whatever. But like as far as like
Yeah,
different
people
like
change.
stars and
People,
stuff.
people
Exactly.
change.
Yeah,
not
people
even just
change.
that.
Am I?
The implied content changes. So what was friendly and okay to say back then, people getting canceled for now. So you're like, oh, it's no longer okay. It was never said in malice. Just the way people are going to view it has changed.
That's why I like comedians like Eddie Murphy, it's just all the old comedians because that shit was like, shit, what's the name? Andrew Dice Clay, all of them were saying some extremely offensive stuff. But back then,
Very
we were we,
offensive shit.
we were laughing at it because it was
That
funny
shit was
because
funny.
you're a comedian, and then a lot of the stuff that they get their entertainment from or they get their material from is derived from some true shit. So what the fuck just happened? But yeah, they derive it from true shit, which is fine. But I think that you got to be able to laugh at yourself. Period. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. So their stuff now, they're trying to cancel them for shit that they said back then. I think Kevin Hart was like one of the most recent people that they brought some stuff up about him making a joke about his son and a dollhouse or something like that. And he was completely joking, but people try to cancel him about it. He was like, "Yeah, I said it. I don't think like that anymore. It is what it is. Let's
See,
move
that's
on."
the thing. They throw this cancel culture so quick
Yeah.
on any little small little incident that when somebody really need to get canceled, the shit don't hold the same fire as it needs to. You know what I'm
Well, they don't. They,
saying?
they don't hold the same energy across the board for everybody. That's what gets me.
My thing is they
You
don't
know?
look at the person and like really evaluate the person. They're just instantly going with like cancel this, cancel it. It's a bandwagon thing. Because like you said about the Kevin Hart thing, or even like when I look at my timeline, I don't think that way no more because when I was saying stuff, I didn't think it was offensive. I wasn't trying to offend nobody, and everybody was saying it. It wasn't an offensive thing. Like we used to say, "Oh, that's gay" or something like that. I wasn't trying to offend gay people. It was just what you said if something was gay. It was different. But now that I know like people are hurt by it, I don't say it no more. Just like the
Right.
N word. I used to say it with my homies all the time. But now that I
Well,
know
look,
people are
look.
offended
You're
by it,
Mexican though, so I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's different.
Well, see, you ain't white. You know what I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying?
not
And
even
I'm quite
Mexican. I'm
and
Cuban. This is
I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure that you use the correct term, a nigga, with the
oh
A,
yeah,
not the
yeah.
ER, with the A.
Oh nah, never. Unless it was some Cat Williams joke.
Now,
But
if you ever use it with the hard er, then we wouldn't even be friends. Like, so I get that.
it would have to like I said it would have to be like referencing a Cat Williams joke or something. Um,
Mm,
but even then, like it was referencing a joke, and then with my homies, you use the A form, but it wasn't. The fact that it offends people now, I just cut it out my
Well, I
language.
think honestly,
And
because I think right now, like, it's such a culture, not even a cultural thing. I think it's like widespread. Everybody does. I've seen videos with white people, and they'll say it, and I'm like, I get a little cringe. I'm like, but then again, everybody uses it all the time, so I get it. But at the same time, you still get your ass whooped.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying about the cancel thing. So
mm-hmm.
like, okay, so if you go look at my old tweets, you'd be like, oh, he ain't black. Cancel this motherfucker. But you don't realize that I don't say it no more because once I found out that people were offended by it,
Right,
I'd be the bigger man. I don't say it no more. But I can't change the way it was okay back then because it was okay back then. So
bruh.
that's the problem with cancel culture. It was different. If he's still doing it, cancel him. If he don't do it no more because he realized that it offended somebody and changed his behavior, give that motherfucker a beer and a pat on the back for adjusting his fucking ways. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna tell you
Now,
this though. What
mm,
Look at my wallpaper on the channel. So I don't know who made that, but tell me that ain't my hunter right there. Anyway, let's keep talking. Like you said.
Lord. Let me tell you something about that cancel culture. How somebody had to really do a backtrack. Disney and James Gunn. They had put
Yo,
out some tweets from him from like some years back. And
bro.
James Gunn, he apologized for it, but I think people forgot that James Gunn came from the trauma era.
I
Everything. You
mean,
know what I'm saying? The trauma movies with the
Yeah.
I forgot what was the name of that main character, but it's all kind of ridiculous, vulgar type of fucking movies and all that shit like that. Disney fired James Gunn. Soon as Disney fired James Gunn, DC was like, let me snatch you real quick. I need you to help me over here. I need you to help me over here. And listen, I'll look at that like Disney, you don't fucked up. You don't fucked up. DC done got James Gunn. You better go get him.
look,
And
if these Karens ain't gonna cancel Disney, then they don't need to be canceling nobody because Disney had the Song of the South. Disney
bruh,
Inside the Mary Poppins movie, Disney had to edit it. They tried to erase this shit. They tried to erase it from the history books, but the motherfucker uploaded the original off of VHS. So they were like, damn, can't even hide it. But when they re-released Mary Poppins, they got rid of the little black centaur girl that was shining the shoes of the white centaur girls. They just completely cut that part out. And someone was like, "Oh, where's I think her name's like Buttercup or something like that. Where's she at? Daisy. I think her name is Daisy." They're like, "Oh, where's Daisy?" And they're like, "Who? Daisy who? There's no Daisy." And they're like, "Y'all, yes, there is." And they're like, "No, it's not. There ain't never been no Daisy in this movie."
Like, excuse me?
And this
Okay, but have
motherfucker
y'all
played
heard
the original.
about have you heard about Mickey Mouse? Mickey Mouse was based off a black caricature.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they can't cancel Disney, then they
So
need to
I'm like,
let all these people go. You know what I'm saying?
let them. You got to get rid of all your characters, all your old school
You got to get
characters.
rid of Disney. Disney just got to start a new company and call it
And
like
That ain't happening. They got enough money.
Groundhog or something.
What do you say, Cable? What do you say, Cable? Was that Cable that said something?
No, it's just us three.
Oh, okay. Everybody else bounced. They were like, "Yeah, fuck this shit."
Yeah, they're done with it. No, that to me, that's if you can't, if you're gonna let Disney slide, I can slide on whatever the fuck I did because I didn't say nothing that bad. You know what I'm saying? So I might have called someone retarded, but I don't call people retarded no more. So I'm a better person than I used to be. And I think that's the biggest thing is like if you can grow and adjust, then you a good person now. Then that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Like our
you're
good
right.
friend Johnny with the porch monkey stuff. He's now a better person. He's a better man now. He don't be saying stuff like that no more.
Yeah,
even though
it is.
Even though he tried to deny it.
We ain't talking about that on the podcast though. So
pulled a Disney on it. Like, nah, it ain't never happened. That's funny. I would say he a good man now though, so it's things have changed. You know, everybody changes their attitude and how they live their life, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I think you had a point there. And that's why I don't agree with the whole cancel culture thing, because it's for like if when you're going back to maliciously look for stuff that someone said like 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, whatever, just to cancel them, I think that's bullshit because people do evolve and change, and that's that.
Like you need to get the fuck up out of here. Basically, is what I feel.
Hey
about
there,
it.
Misunderstood. What's going on? The link is matter of fact. Hold on, I'll put the link in the chat if you want to jump in and talk to us.
Just a bit misunderstood. That's all.
There's misunderstood on the stream right now. Since she was showing us love, you're welcome to jump on and talk to us if you want to. I'm going to put the link up in a second as soon as I get a chance.
Yeah, well, more the merrier. People's point of view is the most valuable thing we have in this culture. So
that is true. Let me find my link here. Oh yeah, see, she said that she hated cancel culture as well. All right, let me go ahead and find my link here.
To me, we need to cancel culture because it's just toxicity hiding under the guise of helping out. It's not helping out. You're toxic. You a toxic thing with a toxic group of people. Like it's like Karens. They perceive themselves as good people, but you ain't a good person. You know what I'm saying? You going out your way to mess with other people.
I love the fact that the whole Karen thing is a thing right now.
I love the fact that the name statistics came out this year and Karens have dropped to like 11%. They used to be like 80% of the names were Karen. It went from like 80 to 11, and people are changing their name legally to not be Karens.
To not be Karens.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's hilarious. I love it.
It went from like the 89th most popular name in America to like 478. It's ridiculous how this my God. 2 years of Karen culture just changed everything.
That's gonna be the ultimate shun name in all of history, honestly.
I give them. I got a feel for them though, because like if someone took your name and just made it bad, you'd be like, oh damn, man, that's just, I can't even have a name no more.
But you know what? I love that they're putting a microscope on people, and they're doing this. Did you guys see that? The woman that was in the Central Park or whatever for the bird watching thing, she actually trying to sue for defamation and I
But
guess
sue her
wrongful
job.
termination. Yeah, she's trying to sue her job for discrimination, wrongful termination, some other shit. Like I can't believe that.
Because she was bird watching.
No, because remember she called the police on the black man, and she got on there. She was being real dramatic, saying that like, oh, he's threatening my life, and I'm with my dog, blah blah blah, and it's all on video, so we could see exactly what was happening. But
That's a
she got
bullshit.
fired.
That poor
She
dog.
should.
That dog was getting slung around and everything.
Yeah,
I was
all over the
like,
place.
She should get
somebody
fired.
touch
She
that
should get
dog.
fired. And she should get a ticket too.
But look, they passed a law against that too, right?
Yeah, it's a false report.
Isn't it called like the Karen law or something like that?
It's something on the lines here.
Hey, check. Make sure you keep checking the what is it called?
Check your screen.
Well, Misunderstood. She wants to jump in too.
No, she's on here. That's
Oh,
what
she
I'm saying. Check your screen.
Oh, I'm on. Man, I got so many damn screens open right now. I don't know what's going on. Let me see what's
You
happening.
got 15 screens open. Can't do nothing. You supposed to be the director. You supposed to be.
No, I'm not the
wizard
director.
behind the scenes.
This is my cousin's thing, man. I'm on here helping her. She's
I know
put me
you're
on.
supposed to be the wizard behind the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey,
you're supposed
He
to be
got
the
too much
big
stuff
head.
going on. You two keep fucking with his shit.
no, that was my fault. Totally my fault. Is she in here now? Hey,
Yeah.
well, introduce yourself.
Hey, how are you guys?
How's it
I'm
going?
Nicole, but my channel is Misunderstood, but you guys can call me Nicole. Either one is okay. It's going well. Having
Hey.
I'm at a party, but I'm hiding out upstairs. Hello, how are you?
All
Oh
right.
wow,
Hey,
you're hiding.
we went from playing the game to talking
I'm
about some
hiding.
crazy shit.
I know, and as I haven't been here for a while. Normally I'm in the clouds, but yeah,
This started out
I
as a
was passing
conversation
through, and
about
then I
Loki.
heard the. You said what?
This started out as a conversation about
What is
Loki.
it?
It evolved into what it is now.
Well, that's why we leave it open. We leave it
Usually,
open
like
ended.
I like to watch the games. I'm usually listening to you guys play a game. I like that noise from it.
Well, we do
I
like
just
we
do,
were
yeah.
we usually do like pop culture and bullshit, and so we'll talk about a show and we end up going all over the place talking about life stuff. So that's what we're doing now. I ended up having to change the title. But what have you been up to? How you been doing?
I'm great. Just traveling, doing my thing. Working on my channel, stuff like that.
Well, feel free to
So
plug
that's
your
all I
channel. Feel
do.
free to drop your channel in the chat as well.
What do you
Oh
do on
well,
your channel?
it's under so my channel, my Misunderstood channel, is all about sobriety. Uh, from a personal point of view, sometimes I have interviews on there, but usually I just share my personal stories, the good and the bad, relapses and all. But I've been going strong 28 days in a row this time. I'm going strong. So that's my Misunderstood channel, and my Nikki Knows Now the channel is about INFJ type stuff from like life from an INFJ's point of view. So that's like about personalities. So yeah, you can check out either one.
That's pretty
Make
dope.
sure you drop them in the chat. Make sure you put them in the chat so we can all subscribe to it and everything and support you too.
Okay, I will do that. I'll figure out how to do that. I'm not that tech savvy. I don't know. I'm good with the algorithm type stuff, SEO stuff. When it comes to technical stuff, I keep trying to tell people it's different. I'm good with numbers. That's actually how I started on YouTube, you guys. So I'm more of an algorithm type person, monetizing channels. Before you hit those 1,000 views, I say monetize from the beginning. That's more my thing.
That's what I'm working on now. I cannot get past
Well, this is work.
679 people.
It's like, yeah, but you can still like monetization isn't just YouTube. It's like monetizing throughout social media because you need to be on different platforms to promote your channel. I need a small channel to do algorithm type stuff, but for someone else, you just you can monetize your channel right away. You just can't do it through YouTube because of their standards, but you can do it through a third party app.
Well, I'm about to drop your I'm about to put your Misunderstood channel in the chat now.
Yeah,
Boom, there it is.
please do.
If anybody watches, or
Yeah,
if anybody's
and
watching this now, go
yeah, and
ahead.
if anyone, you want any type of advice on SEO stuff, which is search engine optimization, um, and how to get, donations outside of YouTube, stuff like that, affiliate program type stuff, you can send me a DM, and I got you.
Let me see. I'm looking for your other channel now, so I can go ahead and.
Nikki knows nada, like Nikki Nikki. Knows nada NADA. So
What's that
that would
second
be the
word?
second channel. Nikki knows
Nikki.
nada.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So
There it is. Pop right up. So
yeah,
I'm gonna
thank you
drop
so
that in
much
there
for
too.
for. Oh, thank you. See, that's your thing. I don't know how to do all that, but I Nikki knows that was my second page, but I'm starting that one off strong and my misunderstood stuff. I mean, we don't just talk about sobriety stuff. Well, I do, but then I open up the panel to other stuff that anyone else wants to talk about. Yeah.
I can't
This
talk about
cancel
sobriety
culture. Why? Well,
because
it's
I'm
not
drinking right
everybody's
now.
problem though. Like, I was about to say that. I it's not everybody's problem, honestly. And I realized that, but I think because it's so there's so many people that have like somebody they know. Do you know what I mean? Like you could be having a drink with your friend, but you got that one friend you don't want to invite. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
we
think it's
we
just
have we have
common.
that one friend. We have that one friend that acts a little reckless when he gets drunk. And I feel you. That sobriety should be a choice that you make because it's benefiting your life to be sober. If you ain't got a problem with drinking, then you don't have a reason to be sober. It's how you
Right,
balance your
because
life
it's not
out.
interrupting your life. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what you. Yeah, it's like fine. Like I've been around my family, and they'll smoke and drink all day around me. That wasn't ever my issue, so it doesn't bother me at all. People come on my panel smoking cigarettes. I don't know what's in their vaping pens. I don't know, but it doesn't bother me at all as long as it doesn't trigger it.
So,
Because
what
you
has
still
helped you so
big black
far?
girl.
What's helped you so far to keep you on track for the last 28 days?
What's helped me so far? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. That's okay. What's helped me so far? Uh, Honestly, it was two things. One was when I had a overdose. That was the first one. That was pretty much the last thing. Like when I had an overdose, I couldn't get up. So when I was able to get up after 3.5 months in bed, almost 4, there was nothing that was gonna make me go back because I couldn't dance. I'm a ballroom dancer, and I was just really sick. So I decided to, hey, just put it all out there and say this is where I am. Love me or not, hate me if you want. But I was gonna use my story to inspire others. So doing it in the public is honestly what's been keeping me accountable.
I think that's
See,
amazing
I
that
went to
you do
purchase
that.
something. Thank you. I went to purchase something I didn't realize was you don't know what you're buying anymore, and it was cut with fentanyl. So me thinking I was doing a normal amount. If you're not familiar with fentanyl, a lot of people are overdosing from it because it's mixed with so many things. Even with marijuana, you just don't know. So that's what happened to me, and it just knocked me out. I couldn't get up, couldn't feed myself and stuff like that. So once I could get up, I decided to live every day doing this for the rest of my life. So that's what I'm doing.
Fentanyl is
Yeah.
it's like 300 times stronger than opium. It's ridiculous. The strength of the
See, I
shit.
don't even know anything about it. Is that I don't know
A
anything
lot of
about it.
people, a lot of people cut it with heroin and stuff now to make heroin cheaper. Like it's basically all fentanyl now. But that's why so many people are ODing recently because they'll do the same amount of heroin that they've always done, except
Yep.
it's 14 times stronger. And then if they don't have the ambulance come and give them that antidote, they just die. They just stop breathing.
Yep, that's what happened to me. And I was in a house with the physician, and just knowing that he couldn't help me, it was really, really an experience. So Yeah,
I'll
I
tell
didn't
you
know
what.
anything about fentanyl though, but it's bad.
Look, what I want to do is like, I know we were talking about comic books and everything else earlier and stuff, but like, I want to give you the floor and everything and let you tell us about your experience. And like, it's not even about promotion of your channel or anything. It's really about your journey. And I hope that you get some people that follow you after this. Maybe somebody will see it. Nobody's watching right now, but if they do, they can tune in and actually make sure they click the links that I put in the chat, and they can get to your channel because a lot of people are going through the same thing that you have survived. And you got the floor.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I never I talk on my stream whether there's people there or not because a lot of people catch my replay. Not only
Right.
that, it's just something to share. I'm so committed to this. So with me, what I found hard was trying to do this, and then I would relapse. Relapse is a part of recovery. It was just really hard because you have that shame of letting people down. You have to deal with why you got started with drugs in the first place, and then it's just your brain is afflicted. You know what I mean? It's like you can't. You're dealing. Let's say you have a loved one, and you're talking to that person, wondering how come you're not reaching them, and it's not you. It's just that this person is thinking in an altered state of mind, and so my heart goes out to people that have a loved one that's struggling. I was, online, and when I first started using it, it wasn't because I wanted to. Someone had slipped it in my drink, and before that, as a kid, I was trafficked as a kid, and I don't think a lot of people really know that. But so when I got older, I just knew that something was wrong with me. But they gave us so much stuff, I didn't know what I was taking. So I just craved substances from there. It was yeah, it was hard because even as an adult, everyone around me would use something. And I'm telling you, the judgment that I would get from something that I didn't even know was happening was just insane. Even to this day, I still get people saying how much they hate me, all this stuff because I use the drug, whatever. But it's not even the case. It's like some people use to escape life circumstances. In my case, the trafficked world is just so real, and it just kind of went hand in hand. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone that's not familiar with that, but if you're trafficked, it's like you're living in a bubble. And since you're not in the outside world, and I had a bunch of adults giving me stuff as a kid, so when I got older, I already had a habit. I just didn't know what I was addicted to.
So would you say that you kind of just you were already addicted, but you didn't know, but you craved something, and then you just started using, or what?
I didn't really crave anything. I just never
It was
stopped
normalized.
using.
It
Yeah,
was
it was like
it was normalized. It was
like
never
that.
anything that you
Yeah,
weren't used to.
exactly. So it was honestly, it was no shame. I mean, I keep, I share this story on my channel when I was on a panel and they were just like, we're about to smoke. If you guys want to smoke, you guys want to drink, do your thing. I don't mind. So they're doing their thing. They put out something that looked like a pipe. Now I know it's a bong. So I put out my pipe and they were just like, what the fuck? Put that away. And I'm like, what's the big deal? That's how normal I thought it was.
Mm.
Needless to say,
Oh,
they turned my camera off. They pulled my microphone. But I thought nothing of it. It was like anything else.
a lot of times that
Yeah.
happens to people who were like sexually abused a lot as a kid and stuff like that, and it normalizes like that action. So it's not a bad thing to them no more. It is, but you become desensitized to it. So if you've been getting sexually assaulted your whole life, it's no longer threatening to you in a way. It's horrible that you get desensitized like that, but you don't know it's wrong until you take the time to realize, oh, this isn't right. I shouldn't be treated like this. I should have better value. So I get where she's coming from. It's the same thing. Like if you've been getting this this same way of life since you were a kid, you have to break out of it on your own. You have to wake up and realize, oh, this isn't what I want. So
Yeah, and the people around you have to not. I didn't realize how important it was not to enable
Yeah, the
someone, you know?
enablation. Yeah.
It's yeah. For me, that was tough because if something happened to me and I couldn't, let's say, just I usually would forget. My family would step in and pay for everything. I love my family. Sometimes they watch me and they're like, "What you say?" No, I love my family, but I didn't really have a reason to get clean. But I didn't know that I had a problem until I tried to stop.
So
Oh no.
can you describe, when you finally get off of something, what does it feel like to crave, or I don't even know what the word to call it.
Crave. Yeah, you have cravings. It feels like crap. But here's something interesting. You know, I think that we have addiction wrong. By we, I mean society. Because
Uh-huh.
think about the vets, the Vietnam vets, right? They followed them after the war. A lot of them were given drugs to cope with, you know, war,
Oh
keep them
yeah, they
awake,
were.
stuff like
They
that.
definitely
Right,
were.
right. 95% of them never used after they went home, nor did they experience withdrawal, and they didn't relapse. So they did this study, and there was another study, but they took these rats, right? It's gonna sound bad, and they put them in a cage, two rats. One cage had, they put, okay, they had rats in a cage, and they had a thing of water laced with dope, regular water, right? Um, One rat, of course, chose the water with dope. The other one, all right, just chose regular water. Here was the thing that we didn't know is that in the cages, the one that chose the dope, there was nothing else in the cage. And the other one had other stuff occupied and they always chose water, right? Because they had both. So, and this is a study, this is a famous study, you guys can look it up. So, what they did after that, they showed a study that same rat that became addicted to the dope water, I call it, they put him in a cage with things to do. And then he chose the regular water. So that study, and they did it more than once. This is an ongoing study. And so when people are thinking about addiction, it's like, I think we don't really think about like the circumstances that people are trying to escape from. Think about that poor little rat, right? In there. So he chose to stay high and he got addicted to that because he bonded with something and we have a need to bond. So you take a kid that's abused, you take someone that's, in poverty, struggling in these impoverished neighborhoods. And so you throw dope in there and they have that escape and people start to crave that versus the dope. When you get people connected, then they start to get healthier. In my case, I couldn't relate to anybody because I was just the weird one. When I started to develop relationships and normal relationships, it's been much easier to stop using because I crave the relationships a lot more.
Mm, wow.
Did I make
I'm
sense
like,
right now?
yeah, it makes sense. No, it does make sense. I'm just amazed because I've never talked to anybody who was either been addicted and then going through the process of recovery. So, and I've been on you for a long time, so I've already known,
Hmm.
but we never had to have we have never had the conversation, and I've never been able to ask these questions. So, um, like I said, the floor is yours. I'm here learning and listening.
Oh, I feel great. And it's like, it's interesting. A lot of times people will bring something up, tell me to go to rehab. Like, you shouldn't be on YouTube. But again,
No, you
think
should
about the
absolutely be
drugs.
on YouTube because there's a lot of people going through the same thing who can absolutely relate, but they don't know or they can't rationalize what they're going through. So for you to actually chronicle your entire process and your journey on YouTube, I think is amazing.
It's also
I
giving them a really
appreciate
good
that. Thank you.
resource to look up stuff because like anybody who's going through something that is kind of embarrassing, you're probably going to try to look up other people's experience with it because you can't just go directly ask the question because you're either shameful of it or afraid of what people will think about you or
Um,
stuff like that. So you putting that content out there is helping more people than you know because the people you're reaching out to are the silent ones, are the ones that need the help, but also don't want the spotlight on their situation.
and I can understand that. With addiction, there's a lot of shame. Um, but the more that people talk about their experiences, I believe it makes it more human because you have a face behind the problem and the stigma. A lot of people have the same problems. They're just hiding, just like how you said. You worded it perfectly. Um, I know I experienced that, but since I was already online, I mean, I did so many things public, so everything was kind of already out there. It just didn't have context. And I don't see any addiction or anything. There's like nothing I won't share about what I've been through because there's so many other people that's going through the same thing and they really don't have anyone to talk to. So talking about it just makes it more human. And I think it takes some of the shame away.
That's the saying. You keep doing what you're doing because you're helping more people than you know. The fact is that your audience is going to be a shadow audience for the most part, but your work's not going unseen. It's just not the same as other like a workout video. It's going to
Yeah,
get
no, it's
more
been great. It's been
engagement.
great. Company like I've been already offered like speaking deals, sponsor deals, people flying me out different places. It's been amazing. Like my last couple of videos, I'm on the road and I was paid to go to these places and I just think it's just an honor if that is like me, you want me to talk. And I've been able to go there. I just filmed but a documentary that I'm gonna put out there on this movie called The Pharmacist. You gotta check it out. This pharmacist talks about the drug epidemic in the way that I haven't seen before. He lost his son to crack and he's it was in an era when blacks were taking a fall for it, but this guy's white and his son ended up in the neighborhood. And the pharmacist used to say, well, and this is not a racial thing, I'm just saying this is a true story. When the black kids died, he's like, well, shouldn't have been there, wrong place at the wrong time. Little did he know, his son was addicted to crack. His son died the same way black kids died, and then he's like, wow, I want justice for my son. So there's just this whole thing that you've got to see. They talk about this doctor that prescribed these pills, and these people are waiting outside this clinic for like days at a time, and nothing happened. She lost her license to practice medicine, but it took decades. It's just a really crazy story. You guys got to check that out. So I went
That
to
sounds awesome.
film the place that took place. Like I went to the clinic, and I cannot believe the devastation that's still there to this day over those pills. People are like dying in the street. Like I just could not believe this. That was New Orleans, and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy.
That
So
sounds
Wanda,
yeah,
awesome.
I'm dedicated to this, you guys. And it's like there's people on my that follow me that has nothing to do with they're sober, they've never used. But like I said, there's always someone that someone knows. It could be a friend, it could be, and I tell people if somebody has the symptoms of an addict, there's something going on, but the question isn't what are they using, it's how much were they given, how pure is it? And think about this. Addiction is not like how we think. If when you go to a hospital, you are giving a legal form of a street drug, except it's more pure. So that's like saying, okay, if your grandma or somebody has surgery, they're given the same pain medicine, but they don't come out to be junkies. Nobody would say, hey, you're addicted. So if somebody tries something one time, have an overdose, that doesn't mean that they're an addict. That means something went wrong. What did they have? What did they eat? So, you take them to the hospital, but if you see somebody not sleeping and picking their face, there is a problem. But they're not going to just tell you. You just have to know and not enable them, if that makes sense. Because those are the symptoms and there's something that's going on.
The thing I
And
like
I
is
say that
when you
because
talk.
those are the things I would tell people. Like when people would ask me, I'm like, nope. Well, I was honest about a lot of stuff, but if I needed to binge all night, I would just say no. No one questioned me or asked, and I lived with a physician, and no one asked me anything. But if that happened now to me and say my kids or somebody I know, I would call it out because there's something that's wrong. I don't care about the substance at that point. Something's going on, and I need to get them to the right place.
I like the what you said about like people enabling because a huge part of addiction that people don't realize isn't even the substance. A lot like okay, so take alcohol for instance. That's probably like one of the major addictions in America is alcohol. And the night
Yeah.
after when you're feeling like shit, you're like, oh, I'm never gonna do that again. Everyone's been like, I'm never drinking again. For some people that's it's serious and they're risking their life when they keep drinking, but it's hard for them to stop because it's not the alcohol that they are addicted to so much as it is like the connections of people or the social aspect of it. So they'll be fine with not drinking at all and be doing really good on their recovery and their sobriety, but then they find out that a barbecue is going on, or people are going out for so and so's birthday, and that's what makes them relapse. Not the need for the alcohol, but the need for like changing their habits. They're used to, oh, if I'm going to the
Yeah.
bar, I have to drink because that's the habit that they develop. So a huge part of recovery is changing your bad habits for good habits. Oh, I can go to the bar and
Yeah.
not drink. Oh, I can go to the party and I don't have to do this. That's the biggest thing
And
that I've
changing your
seen.
environment. Changing your
Yeah, sometimes
environment
you
because
gotta
that's
change
part
the
of your
people.
environment.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta
Yeah.
change the people
And
around
that's
you to live a sober life, and it's sad, but sometimes that's what you have to do to take care of yourself.
yeah, and that's tough. And one of the tough things too is you got to realize which addictions you need to go to the hospital for. Alcoholism takes, after about 10 years of constant drinking, there's irreversible damage. I'm not saying everyone that drinks becomes addicted, but drugs affect people a different way. And we know somebody has an alcohol problem, right? And you can see delirium tremors in them, like when they shake a lot. So alcohol and opiates, you need to be under. You can die from the withdrawal. It's not the same
Yeah,
for other drugs like coke or meth or things like that. But alcohol is one that your body needs help detoxing from because your heart can stop and there's just things that can happen. So that's another thing. It's like it's easy. Yeah, that person can stop drinking, but they really need to be in a hospital. Same with some of these
if
prescription
they're
drugs, just
that
a
bad,
legal
yeah.
form of it.
If they're that bad, but what I was
Mm.
I think my point was like a big part of addiction that people don't see because people are like, oh, you're just weak or you're just that, putting down the person
Oh, and they're
facing
not.
the affliction. It's more of the people that it is around you. If you have an alcohol problem, doesn't mean that Jimmy has an alcohol problem. It just means that
That's
you
true.
do. But if you're, fine with not drinking, except for when you want to see people or like that, like I said, you need that. You're tying that habit of socialization with the other habit of drinking. Oh, I can't hop on the game without a beer. I can't do this without this. It's about breaking those habits, and
Yeah.
that's for any drug. So you're like, oh, I can't
Yeah,
go
you're
to
right.
work without popping this pill. You can. You just have to change your habits, and
Signs of
that's
addiction.
probably the hard. Yeah, that's probably one of the hardest things to do is switching your habits.
Part with addiction too. That's what you see. One person can handle it fine. I include marijuana in this too, because just because it's legal doesn't mean it's safe. Some people it affects differently. Just like you can't give two people the same pain medicine, right? One person won't be able to handle it the way somebody else can. So if you find yourself missing work, not interested in your normal activities or something like that, that's signs of addiction, and the other person may not have that. But some people, depending on what they've been through in life, they find this that reward system in their brain releases these chemicals and they like that, so they crave that feeling again. So it doesn't happen the same for someone else. One person can have a beer, act fine, go to work. Another person can have a beer and lose his job because he lost his mind because of that addiction. So yeah, and that's a tough one because it's legal, and alcohol is so hard to. It's hard because it's legal, but again, legal doesn't mean safe or that it's good for you.
Yeah,
It
it's
could be good
probably
for
like
someone else, but not for everyone.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you're not having adverse effects to your life from a substance, then it falls under that weird category of like something that you as an adult is willing to partake in. It's not really a habit that you need to break.
It's ain't no different than any other medication where there's any medicine that you take, there's side effects that we need to be aware of, right? So it has a nice feeling, it has a numbing feeling, and it's enjoyable. But there's people who can't handle it because their brain reacts in a different way to it.
I think for
And
something like
you
that,
know,
yeah, you get some people who are like, as far as things, it's fine in moderation, but then there's some people who indulge way,
that's
way
it.
too much, and then they go too far, and it becomes everything to the point where they're obsessed to it. Like I can't speak as far as like
Yeah.
addiction goes, but like I know what you know, I know what it can become. I can even say, yeah, I think at one point when after I got deployed and I came back from a deployment, I think my coping mechanism
Oh,
was drinking at a point, and I drank way too much, like every day, because I had went and got
wow.
counseling. I didn't get counseling like I should have because I thought that I was okay, but I was pushing everybody away. So all my relationships and stuff were just getting destroyed because I thought that I was okay, but I was not the same person who I was before I left. So when
Wow.
I think my temper was messed up. My everything was just not me. But I thought I was okay because slowly, as I was over there in Iraq, I became the person who I was. And when I came back, I tried to jump back into regular life, and I just wasn't the same person. So everyone else was like, "Yo, you're different. You're different." And I'm thinking, "No, I'm not. I'm not different." But I was, definitely was. And then I was drunk all the time trying to cope. I wouldn't go anywhere because I didn't feel like going anywhere until my best friend was like, "Yo, you need to get counseling, bro, because something's wrong." And then I had to look at myself and like, "Yeah,
Wow.
there's definitely something wrong because everybody in my life is gone away because I had lost
That's a
friends."
good family. That's a good friend. Go ahead. I'm just saying. Shout
Yeah,
out to
like
friend.
people who I had friends and stuff that I had lost overseas in Iraq. They got killed,
Oh,
and so w- when I came back home, I had never coped with it because while you're over there, while you're in this situation, you're going day by day, hoping that you're not the person who gets killed, and you're hoping that your friends don't get killed, but they do, and then you're left by yourself, and so then you come home and you really never cope with it because the pace is so fast over there. You never have a chance to really cope with it. It's like you become so numb to the point where people die around you. It really seems like it means nothing, but it has. You just haven't felt the shock yet because you don't have time to really process it, because you have to focus on the
wow.
mission. And then when you get back home and you're alone in your room or your house or whatever, and it all finally starts to fall on top of you, then
You
you start
feel
to
it.
realize like, wow. And then you don't want to think about it. You don't want to remember it because every time you close your eyes or dream, then you see everything all again. You feel it all again, just like you were still there. So you try to cope some kind of way,
Like
and
PTSD.
that's exactly what
Like
it is. It is PTSD.
PTSD.
So yeah,
Wow.
next thing you know that you're burning through 24 beers or whiskey or whatever, and you want to feel numb. But then again, when you wake up or you dream, it's still there. So I had to definitely go to counseling and realize all of that because a lot of it is internalization. You feel guilty for being the only survivor in certain situations, and you
That survivor's guilt. Yeah.
yeah, you got survivor's guilt. You got so many different things going on at one time. But yeah, my friend like pulled me out of that. Like, hey, dude, like this is not you. So he got me into counseling and stuff. And a lot of us
Nice.
ended up having to go to counseling because all of us thought that we were okay, and we we weren't. We just weren't okay. So but now what that does is,
I
like you
actually
said
had to do
earlier,
something like that recently.
yeah, it helps. It helps. And for another stigma is you don't want to be the crazy veteran, but also another thing is being a man, you
Right.
feel like you're supposed to be able to go through everything, and but you never cope with it. So you got a bunch of different things going on at one time. And what you were
And that's
saying
just not
earlier,
fair.
it's not fair when you were talking about it earlier when you said that getting it out there helps. So talking about it more and more actually helps you deal with it because now I can be a catalyst for other people who are going through the same thing who think that they're okay because I know what it feels like and I can identify and help them see the light at the end of the tunnel. Whereas
Yep.
back then I didn't have anybody but my friend who helped me because he went to counseling and came and got me. So now I can do that as well because there are a lot of people who are holding a lot of things in and they think that they're all right. So that translates also into the whole addiction that we are initially talking about. So I can get back to that. The floor is yours again. I just wanted to put mine
Yeah.
out.
It's no. It's all related. What you're saying makes perfect sense. It's all related in just different forms. But you explained it perfectly. Especially that guilt. In your case, survivor's guilt, and thank you for your service. You're a vet. That's not that's awesome. But there, you talked about going to work. That's a hard thing, and addiction is so big, and a lot of times we don't know that there's a problem, and so that's why I said it's like you're not helping your loved one by giving them the benefit of the doubt. That's that tough love that comes in. But if you wait, it could be too late for that person, and your brain is just not functioning the same. You've altered it with chemicals once you get to that
Right.
point with addiction. And so the loved ones, people who's able to see these symptoms, just like any other symptom, if somebody has a cold, you see the symptoms and you're like, whoa, you have a cold, or something close, right? And you want to treat it. It's just like anything else. It's an illness. It's a brain disease. I know that people don't agree with that, but it fits the disease module, and that's not the point. The point is getting that person who's struggling some help, and they can't see it for themselves right away. Not until you'll see it way before they will, and they're gonna try to cover it up for the reasons that you've mentioned. I know I tried to cover it up because I wanted to be, functional, mommy, the entrepreneur, the strong person, trying to hold on to that lifestyle. So some people are like, why do addicts lie? That's why. To maintain that, number one, we don't want to hurt you. Number two, we can't stop. Our lives are out of control. We keep thinking we can fix it. And then we're uncomfortable. We run right back to that pleasure system, whatever made us feel better. And we're back in this vicious circle of whatever the addiction is. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the addiction is what's going on with that person's life. It's wreaking problems in that person's life. So it doesn't matter. There's not one addiction better than the other, but there are some that's deadlier than others when it comes to detox.
Yeah. Another thing I've had like in my personal life is sometimes you're not like you're saying like you're seeing someone and you want to help them out of their addiction, but sometimes you're the person seeing your own addiction and you want to help yourself, but the people around you
Oh,
are your enablers. And for those people, I would say you have to sometimes remove yourself from that situation, because if you want to get sober, but the people you surround yourself with do not want to get sober, and they keep pulling you back into that place where you're gonna want to use just because of the peer pressure, you might have to change your surroundings and find people more
yeah.
supportive of you. So he had someone supporting him to pull him away from it, but he had a buddy like, oh, let's go to the bar every night. He would have just been pulled in that same direction and maybe had to separate himself from that friend when he made his own realization of, oh, I'm not right. I need to, make this change. So don't be afraid
That
to,
makes sense.
hurt someone else's feelings to save your life.
You know
If
what,
you
dude?
You're
gotta stop
right.
being friends with
You're
someone
I
right.
just to
I did have friends that were like, "Hey, let's go out, let's do this." Because at that time, like I had plenty of money in the bank, so I didn't really have to work. And matter of fact, I didn't work. I was like, I had the money in the bank, so I was like, I don't have to go to work because I didn't need to. I didn't need a job since I had that deployment money. And we were like, back then, the
Uh,
only thing I remember is always being at a bar or going out or having people over, and there was like lots of alcohol, lots of stuff to drink, lots of stuff to do. So, and then I was like, you know what? I like
oh.
first I saw it in myself. I'm like, you know what? This is not me because I internalize things that people say, and I think somebody I was dating at the time, or I was dating, we broke up, but she was like, yo, this is not you. This is not, the Shy that I remember. So I kept thinking about that. It kept playing over and over in my head. And I thought, you know what? They're right. But I think I was on the process, or at least the edge of going into recovery until my best friend came and was like, hey, dude, you need to, because like literally I would get up and if I took the trash out, it would be nothing but beer bottles in the trash can or in the bag. That was it.
Wow.
Like I would just drink all day and watch the news and be pissed off at the world because I was obsessed with watching the news about the war and then drinking all day. That's all I did. Like
yeah.
no
And if I'm
social
not
life, no
mistaken,
nothing.
the military has that much like it's almost like if you don't drink, because I was in the military too, I was in the Navy, but it's almost like you have that if you don't drink and you're supposed to be a dude, it's almost like you're put down for it in the military.
You drink
If
and
you
smoke.
can't
That's what you do.
keep oh, I didn't realize the cigarette part of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I
And
didn't smoke
cigarettes, that's
until
another
I used to
job.
be against drink. I used to be against smoking my entire life until I was in the military, and I started smoking when I was in a firefight and I ran out of bullets, and I was like, I guess I'm dying today. And one of my buddies, he was over there smoking a cigarette. I was like, hey, pass me a cigarette. He's like, dude, you don't even smoke, and I was like, whatever. I felt like I was going to die that day, so he just passed me the pack, and I started smoking after that. But here's the thing about that. I started smoking outside of the military as a coping mechanism every time I got stressed. Because at that moment,
Wow.
when that was happening, it was an extremely stressful point in my life where we're in a firefight and people are shooting at us. So I started smoking that moment. And then every time after that, anytime I got a little bit stressed, I would be like, I need a cigarette. I need a cigarette. And I would smoke. And I stopped cold turkey one day because I was like, I don't need this. What am I doing this for? And I just stopped.
Wow.
That's good.
And
See,
this
it's a
was
self.
You're
Sometimes it's
strong
a
enough to do
self-realization.
that. You're strong enough to do that. That's so awesome. Listen, you guys, I gotta get back to this part. People, I'm like, I disappeared. But you know something? Thank you so much for giving me a voice, and I learned so much from the both of you. I hope that if you ever talk about something like this again, I would be more than happy to come and show my support to you guys. Just listen in or whatever, share experiences. It means a lot to me, and like I never knew that about you. And we've talked a lot, especially you've helped me out in my situation, which I hope I can speak on one day. But I'm in such a better place. I wanted you to know that, and you were a part of that. You remember from the beginning, and whatever. I don't mind. Share whatever you want. I will definitely come back and keep checking you guys out. You were just really, really supportive, and I appreciate that because that is what made the difference. And I also say salute to you for your own recovery because that's a big deal. It really is.
Well, you're welcome to come back anytime. As always, it's always a pleasure. And like back then, when you were going through a lot of stuff, and there was a lot of things going on, but I felt like if I could do anything to help at all, then I was definitely going to try my best. And I'm glad to see that you're actually doing a lot better. And I hope that you continue this. If you fall off, if not, I'm still going to be here. You got my number. You can call
I
me anytime.
appreciate that, and you have done that, and shout out to you. I speak about it often, and once I hit my 30-day mark, I'm gonna tell more of my story. But it's just not that I'm not bitter or upset about anything. I'm just happy to be here after that overdose. So every day I just want to live, and I just want to thank those that's been there. You yourself, you've been there. Your guests in the clouds. I just really appreciate you guys and your panel. You have an amazing panel, and thank you guys for sharing your platform with me. And I will stay in the clouds listening in, and I will see you all soon.
Well, thank you. Get back to your party. You got 2 days left. You got 2 days left. So you're 20 days in. You'll make 30 in 2 days. You
That's
got it.
right.
Yep, you got it.
Well, yeah, today's day 29, so tomorrow night.
You got it. You can do it.
Yeah, thank you. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be in your clouds.
That was awesome right there. Courtney, you still there?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I was eating chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggies.
Yeah, I was eating chicken nuggets.
I'm glad the conversation went from Loki to what it evolved to. Like, that's awesome. So
Mm-hmm.
I got some
Like
ideas.
I said.
I got some ideas. Well, we got pop culture bullshit and everything else. Yeah, I think not even a format. I think that we have an opportunity to start talking about a lot of different things. We might even have a different type of podcast where we can just call it, I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll figure it out. And Wookie was bringing the heat with the topics and everything and the experience. Sound like you've had experience in helping people too, dude.
Yeah, no, I definitely have. Like I said, I went through my own stuff with like alcoholism and stuff like that, and really finding like a balance for myself, and just when alcohol was a problem for me, I didn't want it to be a problem no more. So I had to figure out a way of getting off of it to be able to get back to it in a responsible manner. So now I'm not drinking 24 packs and going to work hungover. I was thinking that was okay. I'm like, oh, I'm a functioning alcoholic. I'm not missing work. But I wasn't able to perform where I should have been, and people could tell, like that I had been drinking and like I wasn't taking care of myself, and so I had to get out of that to where I could respect alcohol, and now I'm having a lot better time with it. It's no longer like a depression crutch. I was like, if I'm depressed, figure out why. If I'm this, figure out why. I had to break those habits. Like, I don't drink every time I game now. I will on some nights, but it used to be if I'm going to game, I need to go buy some beer.
It ain't like the tequila nights when we was playing with the universal remote on Destiny, is it? I think after that we all changed.
Yeah, we all changed after that. But no, it was just like something personal I had to go through to be like, this isn't who I want to be. You know, I don't want to be someone who's makes an ass out of himself sometimes when he gets too
Yeah.
drunk. Like, you know, you send that drunk text and in the morning you're like, fuck, I would never say that sober. Like,
You're
I
just
feel so
embarrassed as hell.
embarrassed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trust me. I feel you, dog.
So
I
I was like, I
understand
don't
that.
want to be that person, and that's something I can easily control. So I'm going to control it, and that's what I was telling her. I had to remove some people out of my life. I had to be like, yo, I can't chill with you because every time we go to chill, you just want to drink.
Well, that's what it
There's other
takes
shit to do.
sometimes. It
Yeah,
takes you being cognizant of what you got, what you have going on, and then making a conscious decision of making a change, and then identifying what it is that's enabling you to keep on doing what you're doing. So when you figure out, hey, these people are enabling me, you got to cut that loose. And um, when they're not, when they don't care about you enough to actually acknowledge it and be like, you know what, I support your decision, then that's when you definitely have to cut them off completely. So yeah.
yeah. And a big thing was like breaking habits. You know what I'm saying? Like I was tying, you know, being drunk to happiness. You know, so I couldn't play the game and be happy if I didn't have beer. That's the habit I had built. When I realized that I could play the game without being drunk and still have fun, that's when I could start adjusting my habits. You know, oh, I can go out to the bar and play some pool and only have 3 drinks. I don't have to get shit faced, and I can still have fun. So when you break those bad habits and you set new good ones in place, that's when you really conquer your addiction. Because now I don't care how much you beg me to keep drinking with you, I'm not going to because that's no longer one of my habits.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Yeah, you gotta check out these scores, bro. I've been smacking people with no sound on.
I've been looking at the picture you were sending me and stuff. I
Bro,
was trying
that's
to get some more
crazy.
people in because that was a really interesting subject and stuff, and I hope we'll be able to get her back on at another time too, so we can see what's going on with her journey and everything. Like that's a very important topic. I know people who didn't make it through recovery, and I know people who are struggling with it right now. So I'm glad the conversation went that way, and we actually got her on there. Like she's an awesome person.
Yeah, that was cool. That was sometimes it's nice to get the real shit out there too, you know. Talk about stuff that actually matters to people because you could have a friend that you've known, you know, on social media for a long time, and you know you guys always discuss like the happy things or like the comics or video games, but you don't know like their true story or like even if they're going through something that you could have been helping them with. So it's always cool to like have that real conversation and get that other side of people.
Yeah, a lot of times you don't know what people are going through, even though they can have a smile on their face, and you really don't have an idea what they're going through or what they're coping with. And you know what? A lot of times is, and this is selfish, but a lot of times we don't really care what someone's going through.
Yeah,
You know, it doesn't make that make sense.
unless it affects us personally, like unless your relationship with them will affect you. So like if your girlfriend is going through something, you only care because it affects you as well. Yeah, you probably care more than that, but that's why you don't really be going to help and chase your exes to help them because they're no longer in your life affecting it as much. So
You ever ask somebody a question, hey, what's going on, or how you doing, and you don't expect anything other than doing fine. But if they
yeah,
say, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
it gets awkward real quick because you didn't really care. Like you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really trying to.
you really didn't care. And that I think
It, it,
I
a perfect
I can
example is the
admit that.
store.
Yeah, it's just kind of jacked up that's kind of jacked up mentality that a lot of us have that we inadvertently do or we inadvertently treat people like that where we really don't care what they're going through and hope that they just give us a regular answer. But
Yeah, like
honestly, like people, we really don't care as people. A lot of people are going through a lot of shit and we really don't care.
yeah, like movies have done it perfectly. Like you go in to, get something from the grocery store and you're like, "Oh, how you doing today?" And the cashier's like, "Well, actually," and then they go on about like how shitty something is or like how their cat just died, and you're like, "Oh, I don't really care. I was just that's just a greeting."
You were hoping they
So
were going to give you that
yeah,
empty response, like, "Oh, I'm
like
doing
oh,
fine,"
it's
and
yeah,
keep
it's
it
it's
moving.
been great. Yeah, so you're using it as a greeting instead of actually caring because our society, you want to be a good person to other people. You want to appear as a good person, so you give out that, "Hey, how you doing?" but you really don't care. And when you get met with that, that reality of like, oh, you asked me, I'm gonna tell you the truth, then you're like, oh shit. So honestly, if you don't care, greet somebody in a different way. Don't be like, how you doing? Just be like, hello. Something that's not going to open up that conversation if that's the way it actually is, because you asking for it. You're asking for someone to tell you how crappy their day is.
Honestly, dude, and like in my position now, where with my job now, I have to actually care. And it is a whole
Yeah, it's
reason why I
different.
even that's a whole reason why I even took the position in the first place. Well, yeah, I got promoted last week to a master sergeant, so that's an E7. And my job as a first shirt or first sergeant, I have to take care of the people in my squadron and the personal stuff that they go through or the things that they have happen in their life that they normally wouldn't tell anybody. Let's say they don't want to tell the commander, they don't want to tell their supervisor, so they can come to me and I can direct them to the facilities that they need. Say it could be the VA, or it could be like mental health specialists or anything. And that's my job right now. But I have to, when I ask a question, it has to be a general caring question, and I have to actually follow up with it. Because
Yeah,
if
if
I
someone,
lose my, go ahead.
I was saying, because if you're like, oh, how you doing, Timmy? And Timmy's like, well, actually, my mom just died and my girlfriend left me for my brother, and I'm thinking about killing myself. If you don't follow up with that, you know, even if he says it like in a joking way, like I guess
I
I'll
gotta
just go
take it
kill
seriously.
myself.
I definitely
Yeah,
gotta
if
take
you
it
if
seriously.
you pass it up on that, you're actually liable. You're responsible for that because you are in a position to be his caretaker, basically. You
Pretty
know,
much, man. Yeah,
you have to
you pretty much
follow
hit
up
the
on
nail
that.
on the head right there. I gotta there's been a couple times I've been on phone calls. It may be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or actually have to do home visits and welfare checks to make sure people are okay because they may be suicidal or they may be thinking about hurting themselves or someone else. And I gotta have to actually go there with someone else with a witness and take them to the VA or wherever to make sure that they're okay. Um, because it's a stressful job. As first of all, from being in the military, period, and I got to watch out for these young guys that are in my unit. So yeah,
Hey,
it takes a
even if
toll.
they even if they're like, "Oh, I'm just joking," you can't take it as a joke. You gotta take it at face value. Which
Pretty
is
much.
gotta be new. Yeah, it's gotta be new for you.
Well, I got to be genuine enough for so they can feel like they're comfortable and they can actually talk to me about these things. Because a lot of times they won't even put it out there, and then unfortunately sometimes I'll find some things out later on. Like let's say that they do mess up on the job or they're they may be drunk or intoxicated or whatever the case may be, and something happens, then the truth comes out after I have to counsel them and they tell me what's going on. So, um, man, a lot of times we do not know what people are going through, and
Yeah,
a lot of
that
times we
that's
don't find
true.
out until it's too late. So, I
That's
don't know.
100% true, man. There's people that you thought were happy and they end up killing themselves and their whole family. You would have never guessed that.
You know why you would have never guessed it? Because the signs are usually always there. But we don't
People
we
get
don't care enough to really just be to see the red flags. Like when someone's suicidal, there are warning signs.
Yeah,
Most cases they're
definitely.
warning signs. They start giving things away. They start talking a certain way. They start losing interest in the things that they
A
normally.
lack of self preservation. Because a lot of people. My thing about it is, if you're suicidal, you're silent. People who do actually kill themselves don't talk about killing themselves. They just have a lack of empathy for themselves. And, they'll put themselves in situations that a normal person wouldn't. People who talk about killing themselves, like, oh, I'm going to kill myself if A doesn't meet B or C doesn't do what I say.
That's usually
Those are
a cry
people
for
that are
help. They want you to step in.
those are manipulators. Those are people who are trying to manipulate your feelings, your emotions, and usually they have a really high self-preservation.
Well,
But
you know
people
what?
who have a
For
low
I would say that some
self-preservation,
people, because I think it's not the same for everyone. For some people who would say that, um, for the well, I'll say this from experience because I used to have somebody who did do that all the time. You're absolutely right. They were manipulators, and they would do that because they didn't want me to leave. They had abandonment issues, and they would say
yeah,
they would kill myself if I left, and they would never do it until one day I was like, well, do it. Go ahead and do it. They never did it because, like you said, they had high preservation, a high preservation mentality, They just wanted to manipulate me until it didn't work
And you
anymore.
could definitely tell the difference.
But then there are some people, and this is why it's so dangerous, because some people who, when they do say it, they actually do mean it, and you can't tell until you figure out that they're manipulating you or not. So it's kind of scary.
Yeah,
And we're
that's what I'm
not
saying.
experts. None of us are experts.
Usually a manipulator will get upset about the treatment and help because that's not what they're wanting. They're not wanting to get treatment or help. They're wanting the result of, manipulating you. Where someone that
Get
really
attention.
is, having a problem usually will be hostile at the beginning, but then really appreciative of the help at the end because you actually saved their life. And I've had friends that talking about he's going to kill himself. And I'm like, okay, I called the cops and Baker acted him. He was pissed at me for doing that, but that's because I knew he was someone who just tries to manipulate. He's done this since I've known him. He'll try to manipulate people, and he got drunk one night and even told me like, oh, I tell girls this so they don't leave.
You guys still friends?
No, hell no.
So
Hell no.
I wonder whatever, because the woman that I was dating used to do that a long time ago. She used to do that all the time, and it just never worked. Well, no, it did work because back then I was naive until I figured it out. Like, wow. But I think it's a disservice to people who are actually going through things.
Yep,
And
that's what it is.
yeah, so
It's disrespectful to someone who actually is. Because I can't even imagine wanting to end my own life.
right.
I've always had like a high self-preservation. So for someone to be that sick, I couldn't even imagine it. So if you to downplay it to try to get something from somebody else to manipulate somebody, that's like pretending to have cancer, bro. Like that's just it's disgusting.
It's definitely sick. That's crazy. But people out there do that, for whatever selfish reasons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People pretend to have cancer too. People are gross. You know what I'm saying? People are in this world are nasty. Not all of them, but a lot of people are, I think
Oh,
it's crazy like
I see.
how gross
Misunderstood
people
said
can be.
the edits. What I'm doing is I'm running a program called Wallpaper Engine on my PC, and what I'm doing is I'm just cycling through some of the wallpapers that I have added on my PC. So I just do that so people who are watching, they can listen to the audio and also just watch something nice on the screen instead of just hearing my boring self.
Shit should be streaming your gameplay. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm playing.
Nah. I could do that. What I've started doing is I went ahead and just started putting that on as regular uploads, and then as far as like podcasts, when we start talking about everything, I just switch wallpapers.
Oh, I got you. You're using Wallpaper Engine.
Yeah, it's dope. Let me see.
Oh, I love Wallpaper Engine, but it takes too many resources, bro. I can't.
That's why I only use it while I'm gaming at all. But if I do like a music stream or whatever, like I'll let it play overnight, then I go ahead and let it cycle through different wallpapers or just play one.
Yeah, that's not bad, bro. I've never played without like sound before, but I am so much more hyper aware of my map. I'm actually playing better than I normally play.
You know why? Because you're not focusing on the sound.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. I'm like watching my mini map more than anything.
That's it. That's because that's all you have to go on.
But it's just insane, like how better I am without sound. I'm like, holy shit! I'm just gonna not use sound ever again.
Like you need sound sometimes.
Nah, obviously it's optional because I'm playing fucking amazing.
Hey, Courtney, you still there?
I'm still here.
You I was about to say, do you have anything that you would like to add or put on? Because let me see, probably end up ending this pretty soon.
Not at this time.
I think one day. No, you know what? I think on a regular basis, we should add just general talks and wellness checks on each other as a it could be a podcast. We just have people come in and we just talk about life. I think that'd be pretty therapeutic, honestly.
Let's say sometimes it's nice to actually have someone actually care. It's different.
And I think that would be dope because a lot of times mental health mental illness and a lot of these different issues and stuff that we actually covered tonight, people really don't talk about. I think it'll be therapeutic for people to just have a roundtable discussion about whatever the case, whatever we want to talk about. I think that'd be awesome.
And
So
sometimes it doesn't have to always be bad too. You could
no. Talk about the
you
good
could
stuff.
share your achievements and stuff that like your promotion and stuff like that. Like some people just don't have someone that they can get that brag out to, and you need that sometimes to boost up your own self esteem.
I think yeah, a lot of times like that that self affirmations and then actually big up in somebody else for their accomplishment too is very healthy. Like a
Yeah,
positive reinforcement too, you know.
also breaks that stigma. I see a lot of like cisgender males have a hard time complimenting each other. They can't be like, oh, good job, and actually because you raised to be hard and not actually care about nobody else but yourself. So it's cool to be able to break that norm and normalize that, like normalize being nice to people for the sake of being nice to people.
Yeah, I think we definitely got to get past that whole stigma and the whole macho. You got to be this and that because you really can't just straight up define what it is to be XYZ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should be able to uh, bring up your homies without feeling weird about it.
Yep, agreed. So let me see. What am I doing here? Trying to figure out. It was a wallpaper I was going to put it on. I straight up lost it. Damn it. I'm blaming you, Wookie.
Hey, go ahead. I'm over here slaying people.
I'm blaming you. And I can jump on with you for a few games and everything before I go to bed. But
Yeah, because I stayed up to play with you.
yeah, see, my bad, dude, my bad. But no, okay, so yeah, we went ahead and talked about Loki today. We talked about a bunch of other stuff. We ended up talking about addiction, stigmas, and life in general. We talked about cancel culture, but honestly, I think that this was a great start back to having a regular podcast, and I'm glad that we had our guest come on, Misunderstood. And you guys make sure that you hit the links that I left in the chat and go follow her, go subscribe, and I look forward to having her on more. Thanks for stopping with us, Wookie and Courtney. As always, anything yet for the people who are still listening?
Bye bye, y'all.
We will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for stopping by and watching. And shout out to Black Man Being Brutally Honest. Shout out to You Ain't Shit for watching. And whoever is watching, if you do watch this later on, make sure you subscribe and like and leave a comment. And hopefully we can get you on one of the next shows. So thank you for stopping by. Peace. Darth Gator out.